video game discussion portion of Dragon's Breath Forge. If you see me go looking that way,
Oh, it's all games.
it's all games. If you see me looking
games.
that way, I'm looking at my other screen to make sure I'm actually watching my chat. I actually did have somebody ask me about that. So today we will be discussing news, our top 5 or top 10, excuse me, and anything that we really want to talk about today about games as a whole. So
Yeah.
let's jump in to the news. As we were discussing before we started streaming, Bethesda was bought out, but obviously by Microsoft. This was a while ago, but the acquisition finally went through. I think maybe last week or the week before, and Bethesda and Microsoft has said that Skyrim, or not Skyrim, Elder Scrolls 6 and Starfield will most likely be a Microsoft and Xbox exclusive. I'm not very happy about that because I was really looking forward to Elder Scrolls 6. But I'll just play that on PC. It's not that big a deal. But I gotta get a new PC for that.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I feel like for me, Elder Scrolls is always better on PC for me because the mods that people make are amazing.
Yeah, I think they said that it was going to have mod support at launch. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, if that's true, then that's going to be nuts. I can't wait to see if they have dragons, because that way people are going to bring back a Thomas the Tank Engine meme. What else happened? Oh, they also said we actually got a first look at something that I just found really, really interesting, and that was Alien Fireteam, which is a 3-person co-op horde survival game set in the Aliens franchise. We don't know what planet, we don't know anything about it, but you fight aliens and you fight the androids that were in Alien Isolation. So that's pretty cool. We're also getting... I learned a little bit more about the production of Diablo 2 Resurrected, which I think all of us are pretty excited for. So what's going to be your starting class? Because I already know what mine is.
Probably me, Druid, because I like the shapeshift.
Most likely, I will probably go old school and be straight up, like, right in their face, hit and run like last time, and take the entire game by storm with my straight up, like, fighter, paladin type character.
I'm actually gonna. I think I'm actually gonna go assassin. Because the one thing about the assassin is it's kind of like a hidden perk. You don't need keys for locked chests. So you save a little bit of money. Save a little bit of gold. Also, I also learned something today, is that when you're in Act 1, when you get the Herodric Malice, or whatever it's called, the mallet that you bring to Tarsi, you don't have to turn that quest in right away. So you give it to her, and then when she says that you can imbue something with magical powers, you just wait until Act 3 or Act 4, go back to the rogue encampment, imbue whatever you want with magical stuff, and then go back to the act that you're actually working on, so it's more powerful gear.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know about that.
I loved it.
But of course, I played Diablo 2 when I was like 8. So
I used to play that one with my teachers in school.
My dad. I used to play that with Dad. Do you guys have any kind of news when it comes to that you said?
I know we're all psyched for the new Pokemon coming out.
Yeah, we already pre-ordered our copies.
Yeah.
I did not.
Monster Hunter Rise.
Oh yeah, that's coming out like what, next month?
And next week.
Oh, next week?
Yes, next Friday. They showed a new trailer, showcasing the new feature they're gonna have in there. always with a Monster Hunter, they have like a new feature. Either has to do with either the monsters or a new type of hunting, and this time it's called the Rampage, where it's basically a boss rush, where you have a couple minutes beforehand to prepare, set up artillery and anti-air and all that stuff, all ballistas and stuff, and position yourselves in the right spot. And then after time's up, you are literally mobbed by just hordes and waves of monsters that come and try to break down the two barriers that are protecting the village. And you have to slay all of them in order to get to the next wave. And some monsters will target the gate specifically. Others will go after the ballistas that you set up. Some are aerial, so they only shoot projectiles. Have to use anti-air on them, and then eventually you'll meet at the end of the waves. You'll sometimes meet an apex mob, which is just a souped-up version of a normal monster you've seen. So it's like right now the only one we've seen right now is Apex Azuros, which is just a giant bear that loves hunting, but has giant claws that will swipe you. So the Apex version is he basically tries to butt buster you like every 2 seconds, and his claw swipe can launch you into a wall. And if you hit a wall, you get stunned, and that's a bad thing because then he'll just come after you again.
So it's basically like he could practically stun lock you.
If you're not positioned that well, then yeah. There was a mob similar to Apex Azuros in Jinyu called Red Helm, and he had a similar mechanic where most of his claw attacks did not pass. And he was not a fun fight.
Another thing that kind of took the world by storm is Valheim.
Yeah.
Valheim has been getting a lot of attention, and I haven't played it myself. But a lot of my friends are playing it. And I don't know what it's about. I think it's like a survival Viking game.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Rust, but Viking style.
I haven't played Rust.
It's like sandboxy. You start off with nothing. I'm trying to think.
Is it like Minecraft? Is it like
Yeah.
a more realistic Minecraft?
Yeah,
Okay, that I can understand. That I
yeah.
can
It's like a
understand.
more realistic Minecraft, except it's all like it's with Vikings. And you basically have to farm everything. You have to go and build stuff. There's mobs you have to fight, and everything. All your stats level up the more you do stuff. And basically, you just have to survive throughout the days and the nights.
What else kind of took the news by storm when it comes to gaming? So we all know that Halo Infinite's not getting the 2-gun feature, which kind of stinks. Yada yada yada. We don't really care about Halo. What else is getting kind?
We care about all games, but not as much about Halo.
I actually pre-ordered my copy of Resident Evil Village not too long ago.
I still
I'm,
haven't played the demo.
I haven't played the demo either, but I was a huge fan of Biohazard.
Yeah.
Biohazard was really good. It was actually, it's up there when it comes to my top Resident Evil game. I think it's 4, and then I think Biohazard, and then Resident Evil 2 Remake. I actually never played Resident Evil 2 before the remake came out. So, also they talked about a little bit about Final Fantasy VII coming to PlayStation 5.
Yes.
I already got my copy, so it's a free update for me. But anybody who hasn't bought it for PlayStation has to pay like what, $70 to get it. So,
Yeah, and then the new I wouldn't call it expansion, like DLC content.
Hmm.
The Yuffie chapter. I didn't know this, but it's PS5 exclusive.
Oh, is it?
Yes. So those with the PS4 won't be able to play it, which is kind of weird. They did that since PS5 is still
Really hard
like
to come
the holy
by.
grail of consoles.
Yeah, I was really lucky
Right.
to get mine.
Yeah.
I remember I heard a rumor that Target was going to be restocking their PlayStations,
Hmm.
and usually they restock their PlayStations Monday night.
Right.
And Monday night, I heard that rumor, and they were like, "Hey, if you want one, you better stay up until like 6 a.m. to try to pre-order it or try to get
Right.
it." So I told Tuesday, I was like, "I'm getting a PlayStation." So
Yeah.
I stayed up till 6, and no, I stayed up till like 5:45,
Okay.
and I remember. I was like, I'm super duper tired. I want to go to bed, and I remember staying up, and I was watching this guy, and he was telling you how to like get to be faster during the checkout. I downloaded
Yeah.
the Target app. I updated my account,
Hmm.
and 6 a.m. rolls around, and you see the cart or the add to cart button. You refresh the page, and it says add to cart. So I clicked on it, and it just said error, 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 and I was like, no, no, keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing
Yeah.
it. Finally got it added to my cart like after the 5th try, and then it had trouble processing the payment, but
Right.
because usually you have to call your bank because it's a large amount of money.
It's a large money. Yeah.
Yeah. So thankfully, I got it to work at like 6:30, and I went up. I was like so excited. I was so amped. When Target opened at 8 o'clock, I was already there at the pickup line saying, "Okay, I'm here. I'm here."
Yeah. I got mine through PlayStation Direct actually,
Ooh, you're lucky.
and I was in the queue, and I was like, you may be in this queue up to an hour. And I'm like, an hour, they'll be gone by this time. So something, I don't know, something told me to just refresh the browser. I'm like, just refresh it. I'm like, won't work. I refresh it, and then something told me, it's like, right when it refreshes, click stop. I'm like, okay. Sometimes I get these feelings, and I'm just like, okay, I'll just go with it.
Sometimes you get
So,
lucky.
Yeah, so I clicked refresh and I clicked stop, and it actually let me go through.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, okay, add to cart. Yeah, added the cart. Go to checkout. Go to checkout. Complete purchase. Oh my god.
How long did it take you to actually receive it?
I actually received it like I pre-ordered it on like the day before they were supposed to do worldwide drops,
Hmm.
and I received it the day after.
Oh, okay. So you got it pretty fast.
Yeah, I got it super fast. I was surprised. I literally had to like when I had to go to work, I saw that the email said it will come Friday. I'm like, I'm working Friday, so I had to like scramble
Right.
trying to figure out what. I'm like, I had to go to my
Still remember-
assistant manager. Like, can I get Friday
I have
off
off.
and take another day off?
Nice.
Just take the other day off, and I can get this Friday off. You sure? Yeah.
I remember when I had surgery, and I had surgery, and I had just gotten Animal Crossing,
Hmm.
and I was like, don't get me wrong, Animal Crossing is a fun game,
Yeah.
but it's the whole you do your stuff for the day and that's it,
Yeah.
and then you can time travel, and I kind of died off that kind of recently.
Animal Crossing was different for me. I'm just
Yeah, it's still a good game. I pick it up every once in a while, but
saying.
I remember if I didn't have surgery, I would have actually asked for a day off to do that. Actually, I think the one that I actually requested days off for was Pokemon,
Yeah.
Sword and Shield.
God, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, and that was a while ago.
Yeah.
All right, so
Like, I
Now-
don't think I ever took a day off for a game though.
I think the other game that I almost took a day off for was World of Warcraft Shadowlands.
Mm. It's like I took when Kingdom Hearts 3 dropped. I took I took a 2-week vacation because I did not want to be spoiled. Period. Until I finished that game story. I was like, I'm not sleeping until I finish this Kingdom Hearts 3 game. I need to get to the first playthrough. I don't care.
The problem is, at least when it comes to me, I've never played a Kingdom Hearts game. But Tuesday got the all-in-one package, so I plan on trying to get through it. Not trying to binge it. I got like 8 games that are currently in progress right now.
Gotcha.
So I need to really just focus on one.
On one,
And
yeah.
it's hard because all the games are all open world. So
Oh god, that's gonna take a lot.
I got
Open world games are phenomenal and horrible at once. For that
yeah,
reason.
I got Ghost of Tsushima. I have, which I heard was really great, and the
Beautiful,
color palette is beautiful. I got Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Long.
Yeah.
Still have to pick it up.
Star Wars Fallen Order.
Really good.
I've heard. Final Fantasy VII.
Very good.
Yakuza Like a Dragon.
I heard good things about that one.
Yeah, actually, like one of my friends was like, if you haven't played any one of them, you could play this and you won't get spoiled or anything. So I was like, okay. What else have I got? Borderlands 3. I'm about halfway done.
I don't want to play it without people playing it.
That's the problem, is because Borderlands is so much fun when somebody's playing with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a ton of games like that now, and that's kind of like getting old really quick.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong, like having friends to play with is great, but sometimes you just want to play by yourself.
Right.
Like Assassin's Creed, that's always been a great game. And then they added the multiplayer to it in Brotherhood. And I don't want to play that.
Right.
And then what was it?
Don't get me wrong, it would be a blast at certain games to have multiplayer and also be able to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
It just makes it a little easier.
Another thing that I kind of wish happened when the PlayStation dropped is they would have more exclusives at launch. Like I know the Ratchet and Clank thing. Was it Ratchet and Clank? Was that the one that?
They did one.
Yeah, it wasn't available at launch because they delayed it by a few months. But I mean, the same thing happened with the Xbox One X though, or Xbox Series X.
Yeah.
With Halo, and they got bullied into delaying that game because everybody's like, "Why does it look so bad? Why does it look like Halo 2? Why does it look like Halo 2?" And I have to agree, it looked like Halo 2. God, there's so many remakes coming out now that I'm really excited to pick these back up. And we'll discuss this later on. Actually,
because game is becoming more popular again.
Yeah, and there's a lot of folks like my cousin or Tuesday's never played Diablo. Well, she's played Diablo 3, but she's never played Diablo 2. And to me, that's my personal favorite Diablo. Diablo 2 was just a fantastic game.
Yeah, I never played it, but I'll probably pick it up once it comes out.
We'll play together. We'll play together.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll definitely be picking it up, probably for the PC.
Yeah, and the cool thing is if you decide to pick it up on PlayStation 2, your progress is saved. So just gotta link your BattleNet to it, which is good.
Not bad.
All right, so I think that's all. It really covers it for news that we've heard, but there could be more, obviously.
Yeah.
Speaking of Diablo, that is my number one game
Same.
We're gonna start that list off strong.
Same. Yes.
The Diablo
Starting
series, with the
now.
good, the bad, the ugly. I have to pick all of the Diablos as my all-time favorite.
I have to
I
disagree.
wasn't a big fan. See, I wasn't a big fan of the latest one because I literally stood in front of like every one of the bosses and just never like
Yeah.
decided to run. You
Another.
were able to massively overpower yourself before you fought a boss.
Yeah. Another thing that I picked it up on launch day. Launch day, I remember because my dad and I both pre-ordered it, and I went to go pick it up that night. Brought it home, started downloading it, and before I could even play it, I had to log in. It was one of those games where like you had to be online at all times, and they had such a bad problem with getting the servers ready. And I remember actually it was even before downloading it. I put my disc in and it had me sign in, and it kept on saying error, error, error. I was like, why can't I play this? Why can't I start downloading this? And that just left a bad taste in my mouth. And I also have to agree because you can get really overpowered really quickly. But the good thing is with Diablo 1 and Diablo 2, it literally felt like you were having a fight of your life. Because I remember being stuck on Act 2 for like 6 months before I was able to beat Belial.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
like he was a phenomenal fight. For me, I'm one of those. Anybody that knows me, I'm one of those like I love the hack and slash games. I love a game where I can go and power up a character and then I'll just go after then I'll follow the storyline. Downside for the idea of a storyline quests where you're open world, I will see the entire world. And the best part about Diablo 2 was every player that played, their map was different.
Actually, that's not true.
Well,
Every
they did
playthrough,
duplicate maps. It was just
every playthrough was
every
different. Yeah, yeah,
right. So their maps were different based off of who was playing under which.
yeah. And also the dungeons would randomize too. So at one point you would get like the dark hole, or one playthrough you may
Right.
get the dusty cellar or something like that.
Right. So it was really nice on how they did it, and I really loved it. For me, I would pretty much like level up as high as I possibly could before it was just like, oh, I'm getting no XP from killing everything around me. And then, okay, now let's go kill the boss and go to the next scene. Then
Uh,
explore everything, kill everything, and then go fight the boss.
go to class for me. First playthrough was barbarian. Um, I ended up beating Diablo about 8 months into my playthrough, and I was young when I started playing it. And couldn't beat the last guy. I didn't even get maybe one quest in to Lord of Destruction. Really excited about picking it up again. Really excited to play with Tuesday with it because it is a great game, and the way that they made it is fantastic. When it comes to making it, I learned that they're doing a 70-30 split. So basically, the basic UI and the basic game is still there, but the graphical update is the 30%. So
Yeah,
it's still the base game. It's just the graphics, the new UI, the new textures, everything is a 30%.
yeah.
And
Which
that's
I'm really looking forward to.
and that's why you can switch between the graphics too. And I'm going to be rocking the old school graphics for a while.
Oh, I will probably run the old school graphics just for fun,
Yeah,
and that's just a hands down.
and also
Definitely call
we also got to find the secret cow level.
Oh God, that was just a beast of a bard.
He doesn't know the secret cow level. They actually
All I gotta say
in
is no.
Actually, in Diablo 3, there was a tip that says there is no secret Cal level,
Yeah.
but there is. I mean, it was cut content for a while, and then with an update they added it back in because everybody wanted it.
That's because the Cal level was insane. And then what you got for beating it was awesome.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited to get the set weapons again or the set pieces again.
It took me, what was it, about 5 tries to go through the entire Cal level.
Yeah, it took. I still have to this day. I have not beaten the Cal level, and the last time I beat or started up Diablo 2, I was trying to remember something, and I was trying to get maps for D&D because I wanted to do a Dungeons and Dragons one shot that Critical Role already did for BlizzCon,
Hmm.
which I was super excited for,
Yeah.
and because the dungeons and the maps randomized, every time I would load up a new playthrough, they would randomize, so I'd have to start all over again. Which, I mean, don't get me wrong, Diablo 3 is great, but the map didn't randomize. It was very vanilla.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited
But
for
don't get me wrong,
Diablo.
I still liked it. I wouldn't trade it in. It was one of those games, yes, I did trade the game in, but it's one of those, I'm one of those people, I'm going to play the game till death. I'm going to beat one of those games under each player and each class. Bless you.
Thank you.
And after that, like, I'm going to probably trade it in. Diablo's series pretty much have always been those. I know you have your,
Tyrael is the most badass angel in all of Diablo.
of course.
I also have Diablo somewhere. Oh, actually, he's like right there. Yeah, he's right there. They released him, I was like, yeah, I'm buying that. And then also, I'm really excited for Diablo 4 coming out. Diablo 4
Oh, yeah.
has
Oh yeah.
Diablo 4 has one of the the 3 original classes, which they brought back since 1999, and that
The
was the Rogue. The
Rogue,
Rogue, the Rogue in the original Diablo is actually featured in Diablo 2, and that person or that enemy is Bloodraven from the Act 1. So I don't know what happened to the sorceress because I don't remember. It's been a while since I've.
It's just straight bananas. Like, I can't wait. I'm just super psyched about the game coming back out.
Yeah, but they
That's
still
like
have they still have your druid in Diablo 4, so
I know. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm not happy.
I can't wait.
I played the druid back when it released with Lord of Destruction, but I was not happy with it. But maybe they updated it, and I haven't played Diablo 2 in a while.
I don't know. All I know is I'm ready.
Yeah. All right, Dante. What's your number one?
Number 1, Final Fantasy.
The series or the just the original?
Everything. Everything Final Fantasy.
We probably should have started at number 10, but we'll go with this.
Final
Oh my
Fantasy
God.
was my first huge game I played with Final Fantasy X. And then it just snowballed from there. I'm still playing 14. I played 7, played 8. I went back and played almost all the ones from 1 up to 9. I haven't played 9 yet for some reason. I have it on Steam, but I just haven't started playing it yet. But
I know I started off on number 7,
yeah.
and then I went back and played.
I
have not played 14.
I have tried 14. My friend Sean bought me Final Fantasy 14. It's okay. It's, to me, WoW is better, but I mean it's more simplistic to me. I also don't know the world, and the whole classes is a little weird to me. But I mean that's with any MMO. So
Yeah. What, for 14?
yeah, for 14.
I mean, it's your standard tank healer DPS.
Yeah, it's just the whole thing where like, oh, do you want to do magic? I mean, I thought everybody does magic. At least, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I like personally, I prefer WoW a little bit better than 14, but you know, everybody has really their own preferences.
Yeah.
Plus,
Like,
it was
don't get me wrong.
also it also wasn't as demanding on my computer than it was WoW. So
Yeah. Yeah. Or
Like I'm right there with you. For like the worlds of Final Fantasy have definitely made an impact around the world.
yeah.
So
Um,
I would definitely agree with you on number one pick.
Ironically, 14 was my first. Played about maybe 2 weeks of it, and then I stopped. Um, I just couldn't get into the MMO thing. I wasn't wholly into the pay per month thing. Um, it was a little bit more expensive than WoW, but when I started playing WoW, I kind of got into it a little bit more. So maybe if I try it now, it would be a little different. So I'll give it another shot. But my first actual single player game was Final Fantasy VII, the remake, because I had never played any other Final Fantasy game.
which one? Wait, which one?
7.
7? That's your first one?
That first single
Yeah,
player.
I think for like a lot of people's everyone was standard was first one. I have like two friends whose standard first one was 8, and they're just like, "Oh, that's the greatest Final Fantasy ever." And it's like it's your first. It's always the greatest.
Yeah, your first is always the best.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. I think the storytelling in 7 remake is it looks amazing. 2, if it's the same story, like the whole story is really relatable now because of what's the current events that's going on in the world.
Hands down.
And I think the characters are cool. I think Sephiroth is a really cool character.
Yeah.
Cloud is really cool. The guy with the guy with a gun for an arm, like
Barrett.
Barrett.
Yeah, Barrett.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's cool.
But yeah.
All right, Matt, we'll go ahead with your number 2.
Mine is going to be another complete series of Assassin's Creed.
Okay.
Give me all of them. love 'em.
I actually that didn't even reach my number or my top 10, ironically.
See, I like the Assassin's Creeds. I love the whole stealthing around and stuff like that. I love the gameplay of being able to having the open world. It was among the number one of its kind at the time when they first came out. The whole idea of being able to go back in somebody's history and stuff like that was really cool. I loved the attention to detail that they went through for each area of the world that they picked and the actual historic benefits. And it's somebody that's like you that loves history. I'm kind of amazed that you didn't like get into them more than you did.
Don't get me wrong. I really like Assassin's Creed, and the only reason why it did not reach my top 10 is because of Unity. Unity broke it.
Oh yeah,
It was unplayable when it launched, and it's
like
still
I said, you gotta take this good, the bad, the ugly.
it's the good, the bad, and the ugly. But I tell you what, when Assassin's Creed 2 came out, see, I know a little bit more about Renaissance history, and basically when it comes to Greek to Civil War era history, I know a little bit. I probably know a lot more than most people. But the targets, who are these real people in history, and that's really cool. And when it comes to Brotherhood, when you actually take down the Pope, I think it was Brotherhood. I think it was Brotherhood. I can't remember.
God, I can't remember anymore.
I think it was Brotherhood where you took down the Pope, and it was the Tudors. The Pope was a Tudor, and he was killed under mysterious circumstances. They still don't know what happened, and that's really cool to me to have that attention to detail. And I actually really enjoyed Origins and Odyssey. So I actually really like the whole mythological side of it. So I'm hoping that as soon as I start playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla more, it'll have that same aspect. But I already went to Asgard, so I mean that's already a.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
All right, so for me, my number two is, with an exception of one game, is the Mass Effect series.
What's that one game?
Oh, gee, I don't know. It's probably the one that were launched in 2016 that turned out to be hot garbage.
Oh, the one that's not a number is just another name.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's by far one of my favorite sci-fi role-playing games. I
Yeah.
mean, it made a name for itself when it launched, and I was super. I was when I played it. I bought it. I bought it for the original Xbox 360, and I remember because I just traded in my Xbox, the original Xbox, and I had like 50 something games, and Tommy was the one working. And I remember I brought in my Xbox and my games. I was like, I need to trade these in, please. So he's like, okay. So he had to scan through every single one of them, and I had to pick out. I picked out like 9 games when it came to the 360. So I picked out Halo 3. I picked out I picked out BioShock, Gears of War, and I picked out like a few other games. And then I was running out of money, so I was like, I want to play an RPG because I really like RPGs. And I was wondering, I asked Tommy, do you know what this game is? Mass Effect. He's like, oh yeah, I think you'd like that one based on your other choices. I was like, okay. So I picked it up and I loaded it in, and I literally sat there for about 20 hours playing Mass Effect. And it was probably one of the best gaming sessions of my life. Same thing with 2 and 3. Actually, I think I liked 3 until the ending. The ending was kind of lackluster.
Hmm.
They were really good in all. Like I liked them.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I would have definitely taken Gears of War over them.
The problem with Gears of War though is there's only so much you can do in that kind of world.
Yeah.
It's run and shoot.
Yeah.
But with Mass Effect, there's drama, there's romance, there's you have the shooting aspects, then you have the espionage, then you have all sorts of like people betraying other people, and then you got to make choices about who to save and who to kill. Which hopefully when I'm actually really excited for. Hopefully, May actually is when Mass Effect Legacy or Legendary Edition. I'm going to be hopefully saving everybody through my playthroughs, which that's going to be streamed. So be on the lookout for that. So yeah, that's my number 2. Dante. Go ahead.
My number 2 is the Pokemon series. Because Pokemon was like a big part of my life growing up. So I first started with, like, I had a friend in school who had Red and Blue. So I first started with that, with their like first 10 minutes. And I couldn't understand. I'm like, what am I doing? So when I got my game, I had a Game Boy Pocket, and they came out with Gold and Silver, and I got Silver.
What's a Game Boy Pocket? I never heard of that.
Game Boy Pocket? Game Boy Pocket was a big
The
fat
first
Game Boy.
one that
I thought
it was designed to fit in your pocket.
I thought
Yeah.
I thought it was just called Game Boy.
They
No,
when
you
they
had a
came
Game
out,
Boy,
yeah,
which
But-
was this big hunky thing,
yeah.
and then it shrunk by like that.
Oh,
color.
okay.
So
Yeah,
it fit into
I
your
remember
pocket.
the color. I remember I had a Game Boy and then I had a Game Boy Color, but I didn't know anything about a Game Boy Pocket. I never heard of
I
that.
call it the Pocket because of the original, because it is considered the first portable Game Boy, even though it was just a fat.
That thing was huge.
Yeah. So I had my Game Boy Pocket, and I started it up, and I literally played that thing to like 3 o'clock in the morning. And I started it at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh God.
And I'm like, and I haven't even gotten past the first city. I was still in the Azalea town. I was like, guys, gosh darn it, Boxy. That stupid Scyther. It was great. I actually got in trouble with my mom because I was playing it so much, and it was a school night, so it was like she would take my Game Boy. I had a Game Boy Color by then, so she would take my Game Boy Color, thinking that she stopped me from playing it. All I did was take out the
Yeah, just take
cartridge
out the cartridge and put it in the
and put
other.
it in my Game Boy Pocket. And just get up at like midnight when she's asleep and start playing in the bed.
Do you remember having to buy all those accessories for the Game Boy, like the
God.
watch and the magnifying glass because everything was so little?
Yes,
And the
the
little light.
magnifying glass, the Game Link cable.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember I had a magnifying glass and a light built in one, and I was
Mhm.
like, "This is the life right here. This is the life."
Like it magnified it to like a whole like 4 inches.
Yeah, I
Now half
remember.
of our phones are like twice the size.
I think it was, what was it? The SP. I think was the first one that was backlit. Was it
Yeah,
was that was
I
the
think so.
SP? I think, right? Yeah, because I remember having the brightness adjuster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I had to turn it down low because my battery kept on dying. Because I was playing it so much on car rides because we used to drive down to Florida.
Yeah.
But you gotta admit, the game system, like Game Boy, definitely made a big impact on the gamers
Yeah, I
world.
mean, without the Game Boy, we wouldn't have the Switch. We wouldn't have the Vita. We wouldn't have the Wii, really.
Well, you wouldn't have a lot of pretty much any portable. They were like the number one portable game system.
They still are technically because
Yeah, you,
The Vita got outbought. Like it is what it is.
yeah.
Um, so are you looking forward to the remakes for what is Diamond and Pearl
Yes.
and Snap and what is it,
Snap. That was
Arceus?
my first Snap because I never played the one on Nintendo 64, so
I
I'm
have
excited about that.
I have that.
Um, Arceus is gonna be amazing.
I don't know. I'm a little afraid. I hope it performs better than what it did in the trailer.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, this is their first dive into something this
open
big.
world.
Yeah. Yeah, this is their first open world style game. So I don't expect it to be on the level of Breath of the Wild, but I expect it to at least be in a step in the right direction. So
I just hope that they don't make Diamond and Pearl like they did Let's Go.
no, they said they weren't. It from what it looks like, it's not going to be. It just looks like it's just going to be Diamond and Pearl, but in 3D with the cheapy sprites.
Yeah, I have never played Diamond and Pearl, so this is going to be my first dive into it. So
You're going to be in for a treat because I kind of liked the style with Diamond and Pearl. Their story with the whole thing. I can't remember right. I'm trying to remember Diamond and Pearl. Diamond and Pearl was Team Plasma. Was it Team Plasma? No, Team Galaxy.
No, Galaxy.
Yeah, Team Galaxy. I kind of like their aesthetic with Team Galaxy and Cyrus and all this stuff. hopefully they'll keep the Giratina stuff in there, even if it's not platinum, and you can enjoy that too. And plus, you can understand why people fear and love Cynthia.
I think that is that the one where they kind of had the introduction to the baby Pokemon?
I'm trying to think.
Like
No, the
Pikachu?
I want to
first,
say it was before it.
yeah, the
A
first,
little
the first one was in Gold and Silver with I think with Elekid and um Pichu. I
Oh yeah,
believe?
hmm
I
Yeah,
can't remember. I can't remember if Pichu was in Gold and Silver.
yeah, I can't remember either. It's been a while, but I think they first introduced them there, and then they added more into Diamond and Pearl. I think that's when Smoochum came in there, and
Smoochum and I think Munchlax too, right?
Munchlax, yeah, Munchlax and
Yeah.
Smoochum. And I still don't like Jinx, even though they made Smoochum tiny. I'm like, it becomes that monstrosity. I don't want
Jinx is.
it.
I like Jinx. Jinx was cool. Like for Gen 1 though. For Gen 1.
Every time I
I
hear
never really
it
used
call,
things.
I'm just like, I'm not looking at this. Just
I
fire,
do
flamethrower, please.
I do like Alakazam a little bit better as a psychic.
Mhm.
Alright. Alright. Matt, what is your number 3?
I'm gonna shake things up. I'm gonna step away from the video games for a second,
Okay.
and I'm gonna bring us to real world with Dungeons and Dragons.
You did say games, so that is a game.
Yeah, we're talking games tonight. The main reason I'm saying games, it as of late has been making a big storm, but it is one of the biggest backbones in the world of gaming in terms of RPG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the original.
Yeah, original. Without it, we wouldn't have everything that's RPG,
We
honestly.
wouldn't have
So,
Skyrim. We wouldn't have anything really
yeah.
without Dungeons and Dragons.
So I definitely had to say it had to make my top, and I was torn between that and my number 4. So I said, you know what? Let me pull a scene we've all been kind of going with video games. I was like, let me shake things up and pull it up, make that one my number 3, switch it out, and move it up in the list to my number 3. Because one, if you haven't noticed, Friday nights is our D&D night, where we also help you guys talk with some TED Talks and also our games. So we do play a little bit of D&D here, but it's one of those games that everybody can get into. If you love storytelling, you can make a phenomenal DM. To if you like to smash, it's a great way to just relax. Whole lot of stuff.
Yeah. Also, if you really do like D&D, and actually a little bit of news on that, you guys saw that they're taking away the character creation rule for Adventures League, right?
hmm Some
Yeah.
of it. I didn't
Well,
get a chance to read a lot of it.
so the whole thing is that before now they used to have a player's handbook plus one rule, so you could pull one other um, source book and pick something out of that.
Hmm.
Now it's free reign, so you can pick whatever you want now.
Nice.
There's no guide, but uh, I personally I like that rule because if you're in Adventures League, you're there to have fun and all that. But when it comes to like homebrew stuff, no one really cares. So
I could see us trying to do an Adventures League sometime.
I could, but the whole thing is you got to be there on a specific day at a specific time for a specific duration. And
Yeah.
sometimes if you miss a session, you just miss a whole lot.
Wow.
hmm
All right.
Let's hear your number 3, sir.
My so this is probably going to be you guys probably already know what this one's going to be. Um, my number 3 is going to be Total War Warhammer 2. And and the only reason why is because when it comes to fantasy stuff, I like the Dungeons and Dragons universe. I like how everybody can be really um, cool with each other in the D&D universe, but sometimes you just want blood. Sometimes you just want chaos. And Total War, Warhammer 2, it's like Civilization where you build up your empire and you can expand on how you want and you can declare war on who you want and just beat the living crap out of them until they're beaten and bloody and running for the hills. With Total War Warhammer 2, you have your whole classic, your dwarf, your elf, your human, but you also got like the lizard men, the warriors of chaos, which was in Warhammer 1. You had the Wood Elves, which just had a new expansion for the Sisters of Twilight, which are an overpowered lord and commander now. You have the High Elves, which are the easiest campaigns. That's one of the reasons why I don't play them. And then you have the cool Lizard Men, which have Nakai the Wanderer, which is like one of the strongest in lore Lizard Men. And then you have the Greenskins, Green Tide, the Vampire Counts, the Vampire Coast, the Tomb Kings, and there's like a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, and then let's not forget about the stupid French, the Bretonnians. But there's so much lore behind it, and I'm a sucker for lore because each faction in the game actually represents somebody in like a country or a culture in real life. Like the Norska, which is basically Vikings. Then you have the Vampire Coast, or the Vampire Counts, which are like Vlad the Impaler, the Transylvania, all that kind of stuff. Then you have humans, which are basically Britain. Then you have the High Elves, which are basically somebody else. And the whole part, I can't remember which ones the High Elves are, to be honest with you. But no, actually, I think the humans I believe are I want to say they're the Americas. I think.
Okay.
I think, and then the High Elves are like the island nations. And then the freaking Greenskins are the British because they have a British accent. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. The Lizard Men are Inca, like South America.
Okay.
And the Vampire Coast, which are pirates. Bretonia, which is the French. And there's a few other ones. The Warriors of Chaos are just chaos. I mean,
yeah.
Warhammer overall has a phenomenal lore system too.
Yeah, Warhammer Fantasy, Age of Sigmar, which hopefully is getting rebooted because they said they were going to be rebooting it, and I know they're coming out with more armies. And then 40K also has a really good story and lore to it.
Yeah.
If I had more money, I would be totally invested in Warhammer 40K, but it's such an expensive hobby. Like the one single figure, there's one figure that I want just for my collection of figures, and that's the either the not the Screaming Coal. It's called the Casket of Souls, which is basically a Tomb King priest that is like doing this over a top of a casket, and there's spirits coming out of the casket. And it basically is an artillery unit where it just shoots souls out to the enemy.
Okay.
And then there's a Necrofex Colossus, which is basically like rotting zombie flesh, like crafted and magically crafted into like this ship, where it has like a crow's nest with zombies that are shooting guns, and then it has like 3 cannon barrels for a left or right arm, and then there's a way where you can get flamethrowers, and it's like a giant maniacal like hell beast, and they're like $150 a piece, so it's an expensive holiday.
Buy him those for holidays, Christmas, birthday, whatever. You'll make his day. You'll be his favorite follower.
Yeah. If I could get like if I can get like an army, it would have to be Tomb Kings because Tomb Kings are really cool. They're Egyptian based, which is cool.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and actually,
their army is phenomenal looking.
we're actually talking about our top 10 now, Sean. So basically, a review for all of us. Me and Matt had Diablo 2 as top one. I had Mass Effect as my top two, and I'm talking about Total War, Warhammer 1 and 2 for my top three. I think Matt had.
Diablo, Assassin's Creed, D&D.
And Duroc had.
Final Fantasy, Pokemon, and then my number 3 is Persona series. Or should I say? I want to encompass the whole thing. The Shin Megami Tensei series, which is started as one genre, Shin Megami Tensei, and then I think after Nocturne, they split into just Shin Megami Tensei and then Persona. I want to say that because I haven't played the first two Shin Megami Tenseis, and I'm
I don't know. I haven't played them.
Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't.
and I'm excited for the remake of Nocturne coming to the Switch, as well as the new Shin Megami Tensei 5.
I just see
that's
they were
coming to the
making
Switch
another
as
one
well.
about that.
Yeah. And Persona 5 Royal, one of the best RPGs that came out recently. I would recommend playing it if you love a good story as well as some RPG strategy elements and just some funness to it. With all the mini games and side quests that you get, as well as having to please this person you met on the street because their relationship will help you kill this monster in this dungeon faster. It's great. Persona games, they're just Shin Megami Tensei overall has just like a good lore, just good story behind it, and their whole mechanics with Shin Megami Tensei, they're called demons, or Persona, they're called personas, but they're basically all the same. Still gets me with the collector's version of it.
I do have to say, with any kind of collector's editions, though, that if it's like a game that has been highly like sought after, like I remember when what was it, Halo 3 collector's edition, it came with the Spartan helmet, and like Mass Effect had like a replica of the Normandy. Like those are the ones that it has a lot of like following behind it.
Yeah.
And they're highly sought after. And I have heard of the Shinigami series, but I've never played them.
Yeah.
Was it a PlayStation exclusive back in the day?
Yes, they were PlayStation exclusives.
That's why.
I don't. It took a while for them to get ported over to the US. I don't think the first and second one didn't get ported over until much later. I think the Nocturne got ported over. I'll have to look. Nocturne was the first one that got ported over, and it actually got like attention. But it was still like still in their like cult classic stage. But once Persona 3 came out, that's when they got like public attention. It started getting more of a following, and then 4 followed up on that, and then it just kind of blew up from there with 3 FDS, 3 portable, and then 4 golden. 4 golden is when it really blew up, and people started saying like,
and that's when 5 started to really gain attention.
Yeah, and when they got their attention, 5 dropped, and that's when it became like a worldwide thing.
Yeah,
that's how I feel. How it became a worldwide thing more because a lot more people were playing it then.
Sean says his top 3 is Warframe, Final Fantasy, and Chrono Cross.
Ooh, Chrono Cross. That's
but
actually my number 7.
but Warframe is slowly falling off his list because I guess there's been a lot of like really bad updates.
Really?
Yeah, he said he's discussed this with me before. Like, it's not as fun as it used to be because the updates that used to add like new stuff, and it's just I think that a lot of people feel like it's being repetitive now.
Mhm.
Which is the reason why I haven't gotten into Warframe is because it is so repetitive.
Yeah, and I was looking at it for like a couple, like trying to consider going into it. I'm like, this is a grindy game. And I just.
Don't get me wrong, there are games that are grindy that are fun, but
Yeah.
it's when you have to do the same thing over and over and over again,
Grind.
and there is no protection of drops. So like your protection is, or not your protection, but your drop rate is the same throughout the entire thing.
And wow.
He says they are focusing hard on fashion and new people and not the veterans, which I can see.
Yeah.
I can see.
No, they're trying to pull new blood into it.
Well, like what World of Warcraft is basically doing now, technically.
Yeah.
But I feel like World of Warcraft is actually appealing to veterans and new players. To be honest
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah. They're doing pretty good on both fronts for
Yeah,
World of Warcraft.
when I first started, I played in Battle for Azeroth. While it was not my favorite expansion, but when Shadowlands came out, it was like a breath of fresh air. So like, oh, I can do all this new stuff. Well, I still have yet to do the other 8 expansions. So I had a lot to do, but I have Tommy has been really cool with, getting hunter pets and all that. Sean also says, but what happens when new blood becomes old blood and you lose the old blood? So basically, player drop off.
Right.
So yeah, I can see that, especially with a game like that, and it is free to play. And if you spent your money on it, like for me in League of Legends, I don't even want to talk about how much money I spent in League of Legends, but
Is it close to
one of the
D&D?
skins? It's okay.
it's more.
The skins
man.
were too appealing.
The skins are really appealing in League of Legends. Let's just say that.
Especially when they do special stuff.
Yeah, like when DJ Sona came out, when Infernal Nasus came out, which I actually joined after Infernal Nasus came out. But when you have your KDA skins, you have your what is
Spirit Guard Udyr.
Yeah, Spirit Guard Udyr. You have the Earth skins. It's ridiculous, and it's like $10 a skin. So
Yep.
I have a lot of skins too.
And that's not even counting lot. Fluxus is in her own special place up there.
Do you remember when you actually had to pay for spell pages?
Oh yeah.
It's ridiculous. Sean says he has about 8 years into the game, and you have everything. And you wait like 8 months, come back, and you get the content in a few hours of grinding, almost like 6K hours he has in the game.
Wow.
That's a lot of hours.
Yeah.
All right. Matt.
All right.
What is your number?
My number 4 is going to be the God of War series.
There you go. That's some real name dropping.
Yeah.
There you go.
Come on.
So excited for Ragnarok.
It's just been phenomenal. I think that might be the only game I'll probably pre-order coming up right now.
Yeah, Ragnarok looks. I'm super excited. I haven't finished God of War yet.
Don't get me wrong. I haven't finished the last one either. I feel so bad about it.
Sean says he knows
Tell
how
him to follow.
Yeah, well,
tell him to remember to follow us.
Yeah, he follows me, but
I know, but have him follow me too.
Yeah,
we need the followers.
Sean, if you can go ahead and follow
Don't forget follow Otherpath
and Duroc50.
We need the followers.
I really should start tagging you guys on my title.
Yeah, it would help.
I completely forgot about that. Anyway, sorry. God of War.
But God of War, hands down, has been phenomenal as far as the series.
Mm-hmm.
different. The PSP games and the Vita games were, even though they were okay, they weren't the best work, but
Yeah.
come on. It was still a phenomenal match. I did not expect the amount of gore at first. I still remember watching my dad's face the first time he watched me playing one of those games. And all of y'all remember, no, my dad, so it's hysterical. Him going like, "What are you about to do? Wait, is that lady getting
Yeah, yeah.
naked? Wait,
Well,
what?"
he walked in during a sex scene.
Yeah,
It
it's like,
was.
what
That's
are you
probably like the
saying?
beginning of God of War.
It's like, it's like, I have no clue. I'm just getting to this part too. And it's like, so what are you supposed to do? I'm like, I don't know. Oh, and then you see like buttons to like rotate and stuff. You're like, okay, do this, and then do this. And Dad's like, oh, they don't show anything. And all of a sudden, you just see boobs on the screen. It's like, oh, apparently they do. It's like, okay. And then it's like, but then you have these brutal matches with these like mythical creatures and beings all around. Like the first game, I did a speed run. I skipped so much stuff, and I didn't even know about half the stuff that was like I missed until afterward. Like
Mm.
I was like, I sat down in front of the controller. I had the entire day. I was like, I'm down for this. 10 hours later, I'm like, I'm done. I'm like, that was it.
Yeah.
And then you're like, realize you just sat for 10 hours straight, like playing. You're like, huh? Like, wait, what?
That's
And then
always the
it's like,
best and worst feeling.
but it's like I died 3 times the entire time, and I
I
was like, okay, that's not bad.
I didn't play God of War until PlayStation 3. Um, because I didn't have a PlayStation. And oh no, it wasn't PlayStation 3, it was PlayStation 4, excuse me. And when I played God of War, I wasn't expecting for it to be as blatantly violent as I thought it was. I heard it was going to be violent. I played Gears of War. I played Gears of War, so I mean I've seen a lot of crap. But when you have like in God of War 3, you rip off Helios's head, and like you can see the strands of skin pulling, and you're like, whoa, like what are they doing?
Like from their very first game, they did a phenomenal job on their
Yeah,
graphics,
they did.
and they just kept getting better. And I don't care. You guys can fight me over it. They're gonna still be in my top like 5, no matter what.
No, God of War really does earn its place in a lot of people's like top tens because of the recent game that came out, which was the it went from God of War 3 to God of War.
Yeah. Because basically he was just
Excuse me.
like,
Bless you.
I'm a
Thank you.
dad now.
Yeah.
Right. Like, don't get me wrong, I got really annoyed with him yelling out boy every time he talked to his kid. Boy, come here. Boy, 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 boy. I'm like, yo, let the kid just do his thing.
But sometimes the kid is like all the way across the way. You're just
Yeah.
like, where is he? Where boy?
All right.
You start saying it like, oh god.
For my number 4, it's the Witcher series. I really,
Hmm.
I just love the Witcher series. The whole like, mainly Witcher 3. God, that's such a long game, but it was so good.
I got intimidated by that, so I never started it
I've-
because it was such a long game.
I think you could spend easily 120 hours in that game and not be done. It's a great game, fantastic visuals. The expansions are fantastic.
Like, I completely skipped over the Witcher series in my thoughts. Like, I don't know why. They're
Um,
up there. It's just like God, they're phenomenal.
what is the first expansion? Heart of Stone and Blood and Wine are the two expansions, the two story expansions, and the one reason why I actually liked The Witcher 3 is because I know CD Projekt Red has basically gotten a lot of fire for Cyberpunk 2077. Don't get me wrong, that's a good game too, but um, The Witcher I think kind of really cements their name into gaming history, and it's
Yeah.
because of the call to detail. The When they released it, they said they were going to release the first 15 to 17 DLCs for free. They were like, you bought our game, you should get all the things that we're getting for free. You're not going to pay anything until it's actually story DLC. So when the first expansion, Heart of Stone, came out, you paid like $20 for like 40 more hours of gameplay, and then Blood and Wine, you paid for another like 20, 30 hours worth of gameplay. But I think that one's more based on like vampires and stuff
Yeah.
because that's what it is. Have not played the DLC yet.
Wow.
But this is a great game. It is a very good game. The second one was okay. The first one was good. It kind of really stressed your computer out because of the time period. I think it was released in like 2010, 2012, something like that. And it stressed your computer. You needed a hardcore gaming PC for that.
Gotcha.
And the problem
Like
was,
if you played on the PC, it was definitely it would run everything had, and
yeah,
then some.
yeah. So if you had that, then you were good for like a good few years until the next series of graphics cards came out. But I really do like this game. I'm still playing it technically, and yeah, I really do like the games, and the books are fantastic too. A lot of people didn't understand that they were books before they were games or a TV show.
Gotcha.
All right. Dante, go ahead with your number. What is it? 4? Yeah, 4.
Okay. My number 4 would have to be Monster Hunter.
Of course, I knew that was coming.
Simply because Monster Hunter is one of the great games that just keeps on giving, no matter what game installment you're in. You can play Try or 3U or 4U or just play World and still have a different experience than what you did when you first played it.
I'm waiting for Sean to say, "Oh my God, Monster Hunter World! Oh my God!" I haven't played. I have it downloaded on my PC. I just haven't played it yet. It's actually
Yeah,
I love that you were like, "Oh, we knew that one was coming," but I'm like, "We talked about this."
yeah,
before."
we've talked about this before. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, it's so good. World really thrust Monster Hunter into the spotlight. Before then, it was kind of like in
Oh, yeah.
as a cult classic. If you didn't know it, you try to play it, you're like, how the
Just
control
get by.
get you.
Yeah,
You're just like,
it was one of those cult classics that a lot of people didn't know, but as soon as you played it, you're like, "I understand."
yeah.
yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
"How did I not see this earlier?"
Like the click happens in your head when you play the game, and you're just like hooked after that. And
Monster Hunter World, where you can see a really cute creature and then kill it.
Yeah,
just you
pretty
don't
much.
have to kill it.
Or it
There's
kills you.
capturing. You can capture them. That's an option.
Yeah, but what's the fun?
You get more rewards.
I
when you
know, I'm
capture
just joking with you.
It's just- I always like to capture my mobs because I need their armor pieces. I'm like, I know that it's faster to just kill you, but I want this armor set in under 2 hunts, so I'm gonna have to capture you repeatedly. And some mobs you just can't hurt, like Dodogama. You can't hurt Dodogama. He's just a lovable lug that just want to eat rocks. Sure, he spits them back at you as like a giant fireball of death, but that's just defense mechanisms.
I also do like how your partner in the game is a cat.
The Palico.
Yeah, the Palico.
And it's endless cat puns.
Yeah, endless cat puns. I actually gotta turn something off on Twitch because I forgot that my mature rating is up here.
Mm.
Sorry, go ahead. Go.
Yeah, the Palico with its endless cat puns. In Rise, we're gonna finally get a dog companion named the Palamute. It does not do cat puns or dog puns. It's a dog. It just barks, but
Then what's the point?
it has a Kusarigama, and you can ride it.
But that's not as fun. Like if
When you're trying to get to a mob as fast as possible, then you'll see in that large area you'll see why the Palamute is more accessible.
yeah, but if you have a cat that does cat puns and now you have a dog and it doesn't do dog puns, what's the point? Like
After a while, the Palico gets kind of gritty, especially when you're doing a hard hunt and you've carded like 3 or 4 times and you had to restart. Then all you hear is, "Yeah, master, shut up! I'm trying to kill this freaking Rajay." But that comes later.
It's like I could see you raging at this little cat guy just yelling like cat puns at you. Like that shot was far from perfect.
oh my god.
Like, stop attacking me! And then you get on with it. And I get particularly raged because I main hammer, so I'm usually just smashing a monster's face in with one object repeatedly, and then I capture them. So
Yeah, I never did good on capturing them in that game. I never focused on capturing. I just normally focused on slaughtering.
yeah, well, you learn once you get a capture mission, and you're like, you failed the quest because you killed the monster. That's when you learn to capture.
Nope. Still slaughter it. It's a type of capture. I just capture it.
You capture it dead.
And the hardest thing is like getting that capture quest and having random people do it, and then they kill the mob, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna have to kick you out of my lobby because you just did that to me. No, this is a capture quest. I thought it was slay. No, capture. It's gray. It's not red. Gray flag, not red flag. Gray flag. Please understand.
All right, Matt. What's your number 5?
Alright, I'm gonna go old school with an arcade game. And gonna go with Area 51.
I think I played that like once.
I used to play that game like every time I ever went into an arcade. Whether it was like 50 cents to like $1. And I got to the point where I could beat that game with just like dropping in the bare minimum health. I memorized where everything was. Like I put in so many hours on that game. I held like top scorers, everything. It was great. I loved it when it was on the arcade. Picked it up when it went to like the game consoles and stuff or at home, and it was just far, far, far like good. Like the controls were just horrible trying to like aim and everything. It was just nowhere close to like it was in the arcades. But it's just like it holds the nice nostalgia of how an old school shooter, how things pop up, go into an arcade with a bunch of friends back in like you get done with school, head out to like the mall, head to an arcade, you know. I know we don't have that now. There's
Yeah.
not many.
Yeah.
There's kind of places around anymore, but you know. And then they came out with like Area 52, which was just horrendous, but it was still a blast to play. You got used to it. You got used to the same shooting styles that you used to use, like the rapid shots where you would like change how you hold the gun and just like ping this thing like 30 times in like a couple seconds. And you're like, how did that guy just take that thing down in like a second? It's like, oh, okay, that's how he's holding such high scores. And you always had to headshots. Come on, any zombie game, headshot. That's the way to go.
All right.
So I had to go for an old school nostalgia.
That's actually really funny because my number 5 is actually also an arcade game.
Yeah.
It's my number 5 is actually Time Crisis.
Thank you. I took it off my list for another game.
Time Crisis was the shit when I was growing up. I remember going to the bowling alley. I would have like $5 or something like that, get quarters, and I would instantly just go to Time Crisis after bowling was done, and I'd play for like an hour, and I would get as far as possible on $5, and I find like after a year of trying, I would finally get to the boss, like the big bad boss, and I died at the end of it, and I had no more quarters. But
Man.
I remember when it came out for PlayStation, and it had those jonky controls.
Oh God, I hated them.
It worked just like the Duck Hunt game.
Oh.
Right. The controllers were just nowhere close to as good as it could have been.
No,
Mm.
like in the arcade, they were good. Like
The arcade was phenomenal.
my favorite was Time Crisis 3, because that's when you had the multiple types of weapons you could use, like the pistol, the submachine gun, the shotgun, and then my personal favorite was the freaking grenade launcher.
Oh
And-
God, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then you were able to cycle through them.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
you would just like save up certain ones for certain boards and levels when you got used to where it was.
Yeah. My what was your personal favorite? Mine was 3.
Oh, well, I used to play number 1 all the time because at work, when I worked at the ski resort, they had Area 51 and then they had Time Crisis. And I still remember playing in my ski boots and you just put the heel on that pedal
Yep.
and all you'd see, because you can't bend your ankle, so you
No,
kind of push
you
down.
can't. Yeah.
So you're like, all right, I got this. And you just see like a dude in complete work uniform going like, I got this. And you're just like, it's like drop. It's like done. It's like, okay. And you get like all the way through the thing and they're like, did he put in any extra coins? Nope. How many times has he been hit? None. Is he at the last board? Yep. And it's like, and you just have like this giant crowd now all of a sudden like around you. You're like, where did they all come from? Because you're just in this straight zone.
Yeah,
You're
you're,
like, okay.
you're
Everybody's just like
visioning.
watching you.
Yeah, you're
And it's like everybody's just like,
tunnel visioning.
and everybody's
My,
just like, what in the world?
Yeah, I remember going where you would have like this, like on the board where you have like 5 guys in red uniforms, and that means you got to take care of them first because they always shoot kill shots. And when you have like 5 in a row and they're all shooting at different times, you got to time it right. And it's like, oh my god, just stop shooting, let me kill you. And then you're under a time pressure, so it's like, what is it, like a minute per section
Mhm.
under the ready thing. So sometimes one little stage would have like 5 ready things. Then
Yeah.
there would be other ones that would have like 10. So you never really know unless you play the game a whole lot.
Like after a while, you just got used to them, and you're like, fly through the boards at certain times. You know where they are, and you're just like, wait. You're like, had the controller just pointed out, like, I got this corner of the screen. Why? And it's like it just pops
Yeah,
up.
and then when they start
Like,
popping
done.
up,
And it's like, oh my god. It's like, you're brutal. I still remember some guys came skiing from their military, and they were just on a vacation. And the guy's like, hey, you're pretty good. Do you mind if I play against you? I was like, sure, we'll go for score. Loser pays. The guy felt so dumb. I left him so far in the dust. I felt so bad. Like, I felt so bad. He died, like, within the first round. He's like, well, I guess I'm paying. It's like, okay.
All right, Dante, go ahead with your number 5.
All right. My number 5 has to be The Legend of Zelda. My first Zelda game was from one of my cousins, Link's Awakening, and I remember feeling so happy after I got past that first dungeon. I'm like, yes, I did it. Now what? And I'm being completely lost in what. It's not my game. I can't really finish it. It's fine. And my first real Zelda game I owned, I remember, my mom had ordered it off a catalog. I think it was like Fingerhut, when Fingerhut was still a thing. And I remember when we got the doorbell and she gave me the package and it had Legend of Zelda, Oracle of Seasons and Oracle of Ages for the Game Boy Color. And I was so excited. I just popped in Oracle of Seasons. I'm like, yes, I can do this now. Got past the first dungeon. Yeah. Now what? It just kept going. I had to figure everything. I'm like, yeah, I do over here, and what do I do with this? I go back to the tree. You're not telling me anything. I don't know where to go. Stupid auto rats are trying to kill me. Why?
Like, I have to give you credit. That is a phenomenal choice. Like, I would had Zelda on my list. It was just a lot further down. I was gonna have it as one of my like honorable mentions there, just
Yeah.
because it anybody that grew up probably has played a Zelda game,
Mhm.
and some people might love them, some people might hate them. I just learned something new this year, where in the original there's an actual entire extra spot where you can go before even getting your beginning stuff
Hmm.
Mhm.
to get extra life before even starting on your quest, and then on top of it, get a better weapon
Oh,
to
that's
start
cool.
the game up.
Interesting.
And I was like, wait, what? I'm like, okay, where's my Nintendo? I'm like, I'm redoing this. I'm like, oh god, no, now I gotta just remember where I put my games.
I mean, I
Yeah.
think I think a lot of them, especially the Switch, if you have online, you can play the original one for free.
Yeah, you
I
can.
know, but I still have that little gold cartridge.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
You know, the old school gold cartridge for it and
the
everything.
old
It's like,
school NES.
man,
Yeah,
like it's right up there. I'm like, I want to put Tetris up on that list because of those games. Like, come on.
Tetris was
Like, I grew up
fun.
playing
Like
that.
yeah,
Like, I grew up playing that. I'll still play a Tetris game in a heartbeat, but it's like right there with nostalgia, like hands down.
yeah. All right,
I like that.
Matt, what is your number 6?
So I'm gonna go with Magic the Gathering.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with card games.
Yep.
You'll hear us talk about it a lot. All of us play it in card form and also arena. Um, I know me and Duroc play it online in arena a lot more.
Yeah.
Um, if you ever want to take us on, Other Path, pound 0220. Uh, so by all means, come take me on if you want. I'm more than willing. Duroc makes some phenomenal decks. He overthinks it a little bit, but he does make a phenomenal deck.
I can't help it. I make decks and I like new cards. I like making decks out of new cards. That's why every
But
expansion is like 4 new decks. Crap, I have to go through everything one. And then
like
it
he'll
takes
sit
me like
down and read every card there is that comes out and be like, I need to get this card, this card, this card. Ooh, I can make this deck out of these cards.
yeah,
This
that's
is what I'm making. And then 16 decks later, we're like, wait, what?
yeah. Yeah. I want to try this deck on you. It's fine. It's only like 60 card deck, and it shouldn't be that bad. And I'm just like, oh. Hmm.
It,
I'm still amazed he doesn't play more in the tournaments with those decks.
yeah, same. Uh,
But
out of my entire Magic career, I've not only did I buy Matt's collection back when he was selling his, which I still have, but when it comes to like new cards, I have only bought two technically new cards, which one of them was one of the angels to create that giant Eldrazi horror, where you combine the two cards if they're on the field
Oh,
together.
I remember that one. Yeah.
Yeah,
right,
and then Protogenesis, which Matt helped me make my Protogenesis deck, which is a deck of every color, which was nasty. It was a nasty deck. It's a good deck.
me and his missus had to team up to go and get that thing off the field.
Yeah, yeah, because
Otherwise, it was just going to kill us.
it has hexproof and protection from everything.
Wow.
So, well, actually, have protection from everything is hexproof. So,
Yeah.
it's nuts. But I also just recently, well, not just recently, but with one of the newer sets I made with the Godzilla releases, I specifically bought a booster box. I pre-ordered one to get the Godzilla promo. So I have the Godzilla King of Monsters promo, and it is a commander in one of my decks. I haven't beaten the crap out of Matt yet with it. So
Bring it. I'm ready.
hey, you know what that special ability is with that, right?
What, Godzilla?
Yeah, with Godzilla.
Yeah.
What is it?
Oh, now I have to look it up.
Isn't it you deal damage based on
I have it
toughness?
somewhere.
Strength?
Yeah.
Yeah, it deals for you to kill a
Like, I
creature.
have it behind
it's
me
toughness.
somewhere.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's
not
like
by
it
toughness.
turns
it's by
everybody's
power.
toughness instead of power.
No, yours, as in the players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you have and I also have the other Godzilla in there, which is an 11/11 creature, and I have Destroya. So, I mean, they're all
I'm still ready for you.
reprints. They're all reprints, but I mean, I'm excited to.
I'm ready. I'm ready for it.
Also, another thing is funny is when that set came out, coronavirus was starting out. So it was like last year,
Mm.
and Space Godzilla had to be pulled and reprinted because it was called Space Godzilla Des Corona.
Oh God.
because and
Yeah.
it's there's a reason why he's called that in the movie. His breath attack is called the Corona Beam. So I could see it, but it was very bad timing.
Right.
Mhm.
So they Dion actually ended up getting a non-reprint Space Godzilla, and I was really jealous. I never got the one I wanted though, which was King Ghidorah.
Oh, Ghidorah.
Yeah, but I did manage.
Those non-reprint ones, like the originals, are a fortune now.
Yeah, they're a little pricey, but I also did manage to get the recently. I did manage to get the Bob Ross Secret Lair.
Ooh,
So
yeah.
funny. So funny story. This was on our Discord. I was telling the guys about how I got it, and it shipped about 8 weeks later. Actually, no, it was like a few months later, because they always tier it out like with the other secret layers. And I finally got it like 3 weeks or two or 3 weeks ago, and I paid $50 for the foil edition. And when I got it, it was not the foil edition. Apparently, there was a technical glitch when it comes to shipping out everything. So I contacted Wizard Support. They were really super helpful and said, well, look, this is what happened. If you have received the wrong edition, just go ahead and keep them. You don't have to send them back. Just go ahead and keep them for no extra charge. And we'll send you the right ones in 8 to 10 weeks. So I was like, okay, cool. So I got 2 editions of the Bob Ross. I gave one to Tuesday and one for May. And I gave her the Magic of the Gathering Arena set production key. So
Nice.
she has the Bob Ross one.
Yeah,
So-
I'm waiting for Arena to go on mobile.
It's
Fully
a-
on mobile.
yeah,
All
I
systems.
have it on mobile right now.
Yeah,
I have it
my
on mobile.
phone it can't support it, so I
Uh,
can't. Yeah, it's still an alpha. I have to wait for it to fully come out first.
Gotcha. All right. Is it me? Is my number 5 right?
Uh,
No, 6. Right.
yeah,
All right.
6.
Number 6. For me, it's the Civilization series.
Okay.
Yeah.
I really do like the empire building games, and Civilization was the one that kind of, next to Age of Mythology, was kind of the one that kind of, Starburst, really cemented
That's why I
that
don't
for
need
me. Well, I like
Mhm.
Starburst.
I don't need them anymore. Nope.
So it was between Age of Mythology and Civilization for the empire building games, and I do like Civilization a little bit more because they have, I think, about 7 or 8 games right now that are, a lot of them are older. Civilization 6 was the newest one, and they added I think it was called Gathering Storm, which based the world in climate change. So depending on what you do during your gameplay, it affects your climate. So like if you use a lot more fossil fuels, you'll have a lot more natural disasters. So it's really cool how the game kind of like balances that, and plus the multiplayer is really fun.
Oh yeah. Like I've never been a big Civilizations fan, but it's definitely held its own over the years.
Oh yeah, yeah. Civilization 6 is not the best received. I think personally,
I
Civilization
want to say
Revolution.
number 5.
So Civilization Revolution was my personal favorite, and that was the one for 360 and PlayStation 3. That was a really fun game. I missed that game. And 5 was also really good for PC. I have 5. All right. Go ahead, Dante, with your number 6.
Number 6. All right. My number 6 is the Fire Emblem series.
That's a good one too.
It took me a while to get used to it when I first played Sacred Stones on Game Boy Advance. It was my first strategy style game of that nature, and I was like, I'll give it a try. And what hooked me was basically the story of it. How in Sacred Stones you start off with this kingdom, 5 kingdoms, they're all live in natural harmony, and then everything changed.
When the Fire Nation attacked.
Basically, when the Great O Nation attacks your small kingdom and wiped everyone out. So you're like, you can choose. You start off as the fleeing princess, and she has to defend herself with her rapier, and she has her paladin protecting her, and you go off and finding all these vassals. You get your knight, you get your cleric, you get your mage, and you get your cavalier, and then you finally meet up with your twin brother, who's a lanceman, and you get all of them together, and then the path splits after a while, and you get to choose which one you wish to follow, the princess or the prince. And there's a different things happen with each one. So the first time I chose a princess, and it was kind of hard. Her side of the story was kind of more difficult. There was more environmental hazards that lessened your movement, which kind of screwed me up because I was still learning the game. So the enemy would surround my units and they would die, and I had to reload because I don't want to kill them. Because in that game, when your units die, they're permadeath.
Well, not so much in the newer games, but in the
Yeah, in the newer games, they lessen that. You can choose to. You can choose to have permadeath, or you can choose to turn it off. But in the older games,
you had no choice.
you had no choice. That's either you lose them or you restart from your last save.
My first Fire Emblem game was Fire Emblem Fates, I think. I think that's the
Okay.
one for 3DS, right?
Yes, that's the
Yeah.
3DS.
Then that's
The
that. That's
confusing one.
yeah. That's the
Yeah.
one I had.
Yeah. That was a real good story too.
I
And
tried playing. What is it? Three Houses. I think that's what it's called.
for the Switch.
It's really confusing.
Um, it's because they're using a new system where you teach your classes. You're
Yeah.
actually leveling up your units out of combat as well as
In
leveling them up
combat.
in combat. And that kind of overlap can be a bit overwhelming at times because you have to do that as well as combat as well as relationships which will help in combat. Yeah, I see why it can get kind of confusing at times.
Yeah.
I started which side did you start with?
I think I started. I had the red copy, so I forget which one. For Fates. It wasn't the.
It was Conquest for Fates. It was red.
Okay, so yeah, I think I had Conquest.
Okay. And
Um,
then which side did you start in Three Houses?
the blue house.
The Blue Lions. Okay.
Yeah, because my
I
favorite
start.
color is blue.
Yeah, I start with them first. But I haven't finished it, and I'm kind of debating because it's been a long time since I played it. If I want to start over and go with the Golden Deer,
Hmm.
I probably will go with the Golden Deer just because I want to see another storyline. But yeah, Fire Emblem, it's a really good game. Awakening was great. For that was like really good, and when they introduced it to the 3DS, and it's just all their stories with them was just really good. It really captured you.
I'm trying
I
to
agree
look.
with that.
I'm trying to look up like. I want to say it was. I think. No, I'm sorry. Conquest was the purple one.
Yeah, purple.
Birthright was the red one. I had Birthright.
Yeah, Birthright. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started with Conquest, and I never did finish it because I got confused on how to progress with it because I bought both physical copies, but you couldn't switch over to one. You had to get one version, then get the digital of the other
Yeah.
in order to bring over your save.
And that was really silly.
Yeah. Right.
Excuse me.
No problem. Um, so I'm actually going to pinpoint one out of an entire series to this one. It is going to be SAO's Hollow Realization.
Okay.
The Sword Art Online Hollow Realization. I've had to have put the most hours into it out of all of the ones out of the SAO series that I have played. The main reason, one, I love a hack and slash. Two, come on, who doesn't like having the combination of being a hero along with getting to dungeon crawl along with everything else that you can possibly do. I'm having a blast being able to go and you can play with your friends. You can also, once you finish the first world boss, you can play with your friends. You can do all sorts of stuff. You also get to do the whole like aspect of romancing other characters. And it doesn't matter whether you're romancing the same sex or opposite sex. That's kind of weird, but it's kind of funny. You can also create a relationship with your actual shopkeeps. So the higher your relationship and friend status you are with them, the better your gear that you can actually get with them, which is kind of cool. So it's really nice to be able to take them out as your team. So you have a backup squad and stuff. You can control what kind of like positions you want them to hold in the army, like in your team. Whether you want one as backup as your striker, or you want one as a defender, or just healing. And I've liked it pretty well. I haven't gotten a chance to play their newest one, which is their like version of Gun Gale.
S-
I don't know the name of it.
I forgot the name of it, but I have it. It's
I
pretty
know.
good.
I'm like, I haven't even gotten a chance to play it.
That's not the newest one though.
No.
No, there's one that covers the newest season.
Oh, the Alice Realization one. I haven't
But
tried that yet.
Alicization like
Yeah,
Lycoris, Lycoris or
something like
something.
that.
Yeah, it covers.
I haven't gotten a chance to check those out yet. I also haven't watched that season yet, so I have to play catch up a little bit there.
It's a very slow burn. Very
Yeah, I know.
slow burn.
Mm.
So I got to get back into there. Um, it's one of those things. I liked it overall.
Yeah,
You know,
it was a good game. I remember trying to join you in your game. I swear I didn't know about you had to kill the first world boss before you could join people, and I was like, why can't I join him? And then you were like, oh, well, you got to kill the first world boss. I was like, I just started, and it took me like 10 hours to get to the first world boss, which is nuts.
see, and I'm a big hack slash person, so it took me like no time to kill the first world boss.
Yeah, and also you got to remember I was also working second shift too, so it took me a long
True.
time to get there. Yeah. All right, so that's what, number 7?
Number 7.
Okay. So mine's kind of like a combo.
All right.
Two different games, really.
Okay.
So my number 7 is the Fallout and Skyrim series. It's technically the same game, just different settings. Um, Fallout was post-apocalyptic. Elder Scrolls is just fantasy. My favorite out of all of them, though, was Fallout New Vegas. I think that actually is literally the best Fallout game ever. And then we all know which Elder Scrolls one is the best. Okay. I mean, it's only been made like what 20 times, ported to
Yeah.
different systems.
They want to
Uh,
make sure that you know it's the best.
Yeah, they want to make sure that you know it's the best. But now that it's a Microsoft exclusive, they can't port it to other games or game systems.
Right.
Don't port it on your Dreamcast if you still have it. Yeah, so I really do like the whole free roaming aspect of it. Free roaming games are just my bread and butter. They're fun. You can kind of do what you want when you want. You can play how you want to play. For Skyrim, I ended up trying to go two-handed heavy armor, and then somehow I ended up going into sneaky archer. I always end up going sneaky archer.
It's so easy
It's
though.
so
You're just
easy to do.
you just crouch and never get back up again.
Have you heard of a YouTuber called the Spiffing Brit?
Spiffing Grit?
No, Spiffing Brit, as in like a British person.
Spiffing Brit?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
he did a he did a he did a video about how necromancy magic is the best magic in all of Skyrim, and he doesn't kill anybody. Now notice what I said there. He doesn't kill anybody, but he uses the necromancy stone that it's like really early on in the game that you see because it's like right near the start position.
Yeah.
So you use the stone to resurrect dead combatants around you, and it has a pretty big radius. So if you find like a battlefield or like some place where you kill a lot of people, like you could use the stone to then resurrect all of them, and then there's a glitch in the game after all this time to basically reset your stone to then kill more people and then resurrect them into your undead army. and he at one point he had like 40-50 people following him. It was really funny. Yeah, so there's a lot of what we call Bethesda bugs, which we all know.
The thing that killed me on them was there's a point in some of those open world games that the open world just gets a little bit too large.
Yeah. But,
where you're hiking for a good chunk of your game time to hike, from one place to another, that gets really old really quick.
Witcher. What? Sorry. Witcher did that. Skyrim wasn't as bad because it at least have decent
Skyrim
fast
at
traveling.
least gives you something to do.
Yeah, at least it also gives you fast traveling.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
Witcher, you have to go to a fast travel sign, which is nuts. Same thing with Fallout. Fallout, you could go anywhere, anytime.
As long as you've been there, yeah.
Yeah, as long as you've been there. But there's a lot of stuff
But to initially get there, it was just like took forever at times.
it depends on what game you play. When you play like, I can see where you're understand like what you mean with like New Vegas. But for me, New Vegas was
Yeah.
a lot more fun than 3.
Oh yeah.
3 was okay, but New Vegas was better. At least because you can also reload your weapons or reload your bullets, so that kind of made it more realistic. And then they had survival mode, which is nice. So it was more hardcore. Skyrim, they didn't have that. I wish they did. And then Fallout 4, I also wish I had that. And then I haven't played 76 because I don't want to play 76. But I heard it's actually pretty good now.
Yeah, I hear they got most of the kinks out of 76.
Yeah, it only took like what, 3 years?
Right.
All right, so that's it for my number 7. Go ahead with your number 7, Dante.
My number 7? My number 7 is the Kingdom Hearts series.
Good choice.
I love and hate Kingdom Hearts. it's developed into a love-hate relationship. When it first came out, it was just like, oh my god, everything Disney with this, and then you have Final Fantasy in here. What is this story? I'm beating things with a Keyblade. I don't understand how this is, but it's working. And then Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories came out for the Game Boy Advance. So you use cars. I'm like, okay, the cars are but the story's okay. Then Kingdom Hearts 2 came out, and it was just, the combat was just. They upped the combat from Kingdom Hearts when they gave you everything. When they added forms to it, you could do the reaction times were epic. And then you had your summons, you had your magic was seamlessly blended in instead of you just sitting there and you're deep freeze and it does nothing. And then finally, after side story, remake, side story, remake, compilation, side story, remake, side story, remake, side story, compilation, remake of a side story. We finally got Kingdom Hearts.
Still haven't.
And it got. I feel like it got so hyped up because it took us about 20 years to get it.
Hey, at least though with Blizzard, they're gonna make a good game. At least a little bit. And I have to defend them on this because.
Oh, I agree. They make a phenomenal game, and they're also working on multiple games at once.
Yeah, and it's also it's not the same team too. But the thing is when when you have companies like probably Kingdom Hearts, when you have them being pressured to release a game, they're rushing to get it done so they can get the game done. Yeah. And with Blizzard, they're very fortunate that Activision isn't pushing their ass to release a game early with bugs or that's not polished, and that they're going to make a good game. It's going to take them like maybe 1 or 2 years after they initially announce it, like Diablo 4.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a good game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know we've had problems with Diablo 3 and we've had a lot of problems with StarCraft, but it's they're good games, no matter how you look at it. So, and I really think that's probably what the reason was with Kingdom Hearts, because I know that it was so hyped, and when it released, it was so underwhelming.
Yep.
And
I was just happy the story is over. Finally, the story is over with.
So you think?
Xehanort out. Xehanort's out. Ranger, but Sora still got problems. Sora still has problems.
Sora still has problems. I haven't played
Oh,
it,
poor
but
boy.
I'm sure he does.
Yeah.
All right.
That's all I'll say. If you don't want to get spoiled, Sora will still forever have problems.
All right. Matt, you're number 8.
Was gonna have to go with Mortal Kombat.
Of course.
Oh,
Of
of
course.
course.
I mean,
Finish.
finish him. Yeah.
Like, whether it was on the arcade or just in the console, it was just one of those games you had to play.
What you know what's sad?
It's a fighter.
You know what's sad is I can actually like, even though we're pretty close in age, I can actually kind of believe that you used to play it on arcade.
Yeah, because I did. I remember playing the first one in the arcade, sitting there, like, all right, go down the tiers. Like, oh, I'm going for this. I'm going for the hard one. And then sitting there and you're like, all right, really? I just died. Oh, all right. Then you had to memorize all the combos, then learn their finishing moves.
Yeah, I remember when I think it was Mortal Kombat X. They had the tokens where it was the easy fatalities, where you just had
Mhm.
right trigger and then X or
Yeah.
circle, and it was really nuts.
Yeah, you're able to do like a cheat code and put in all their fatalities with just
Yeah,
like simple button codes.
yeah.
Like that's kind of messed up, but it was awesome.
Sean says he still has Mortal Kombat 3 on Sega.
Nice.
I haven't played the early early Mortal Kombat. Actually, no, I can't say that because I have when it was on the actual disc, and I was like, wow, people really freaked out about this back in the day.
Hmm.
Yeah. I agree with you. It's up there for me, but it didn't reach my top 10. Mortal Kombat 11 kind of pulled that in for me. The story was kind of really silly. Uh,
Well, when you look at it, Mortal Kombat, it's just been around. It's one of those games that it's coming out with a movie now, finally, again,
Another one, which hopefully
again.
it looks pretty
I'm
good
hoping
though.
it looks like it's gonna do good.
Yeah, I'm really
I'm
excited.
knocking on wood, you know.
When
I'm
I saw
hoping
the
for the best
trailer,
for it.
I shit my pants when I saw Goro.
Mhm.
And I'm like, oh my god, he's still here. Yeah, big forearm motherfucker.
Like I've had like he was one of those like opponents you're like, oh come on, why?
What is the other one? Katara? Like the
Kitana?
no, not Katana. It was the
Oh, you're talking
other.
about Gross White,
Yeah, well, no.
basically?
That's we have Shiva, which is basically almost like Goro,
Yeah.
but no, it was the Tiger Goro. Yeah, Sean said it in the chat. The Tiger Goro.
Oh, Tiger Goro. What's his name?
I forgot, but you kicked his ass in the one where you can play as Scorpion, and Sub Zero or Liu Kang, and oh, his name is Kintaro.
Oh, Kentaro. That's what it
Yeah, the wannabe Goro.
was.
Right.
And then you had I remember there was this one Mortal Kombat game where it was like you played as like a demigod, and you can create your own character, and your character was the demigod, and you had to fight to the top of a pyramid, and the final person was this like fire demon, and you're like, are you serious? It's not even like
Played that.
it's not even like Shang Tsung or Shao
Right.
Kahn. I
It's like not
mean,
even one of the guys you
it's not
actually
even
knew.
like one of
You're
the
like,
really cool
whoa.
guys. It's just like some dude who's a fire demon. Like seriously,
Like
I'm pretty
what
sure
the
that it's
rule?
in the lore of Mortal Kombat. It's
Yeah.
probably somebody really significant. But I'm like, seriously, really?
Like I remember one of their spin-off ones where they had Sub-Zero, like he had his entire own game.
Yeah,
And me and my brother, we used to like go and play until we would die because it would always have to have you go all the way back. And it was like, oh my god, I hate this.
favorite character quickly.
Huh?
Favorite character. What's your favorite character in all of Mortal
Oh,
Kombat?
mine? Sub-Zero. Not Sub-Zero, that was James. Mine is Scorpion.
Dante.
Interesting. Oh, ugh, just dang it! I just blanked out. Oh, oh no.
Mine goes Scorpion,
What
then
was
Cabal.
what was his name?
Can you describe them?
Yeah.
It was the Shang Tsung's used a bunch of souls to create him.
Ermac.
Ermac, yes, that's what it was.
He's not in Mortal Kombat 11, although a lot of people do wish he was in there.
Yeah.
My personal favorite is actually Baraka.
Baraka.
Well, not only that is because back in the early day of Mortal Kombat, you could spam his blade shooty thing. It was like a little, yeah, you could spam it and kick the crap out of people with just that move.
It's just, yeah, his spam.
Mine always was Scorpion, just because, you know, you do the Hellfire once he's in the air, you just do come over here, pull him up, kick him to the other side of the board, teleport behind him, and just demolish the guy. It was pretty much game over. And then you got up against Goro, and you're like, come over here doesn't work. You're like, what now?
So my number 8 is pretty close to yours, but it is not Mortal Kombat.
Is it Marvel vs. Capcom?
No, but it is made by the same studio who made Mortal Kombat.
Killer Instinct?
No, definitely not Killer Instinct. It's a good game. It's a very classic game, but that's not that.
Okay.
Is it Street Fighter?
No. It's made by the same studio who made Mortal Kombat. NetherRealm Studios.
Other series?
In the last three Mortal Kombat games, there's one character from this universe that's always in it. And the last one, there's two technically.
I have no idea. I don't think I ever
They
played.
brought Jason into
No,
both of them.
it has to be from a fighting game.
It has to be
No,
from
but they brought Jason into both of them. I was like, wait, what?
Oh, that's technical. Well, they didn't add him into
That
Mortal
sucks.
Kombat 11.
Yeah, they did.
No, they didn't. That was Mortal Kombat
Yeah, an
X.
add-on character.
No, that was Mortal Kombat X, not 11. My number 8 is Injustice 2.
Injustice?
Injustice was a badass game.
Injustice? Yeah. I can see
When
that.
I mean, who can't? I remember kicking the shit out of my cousin with what was it, Aquaman? With
Aquaman.
he slams down his trident, and a tentacle comes up from the floor, and it just throws him up, and I would just wait until he got back up and do it all over again. And then when he said, "Okay, no Aquaman," okay, cool, Deadshot. Not that? Okay, Joker. Not that. There's a bunch of like really cool characters in Injustice, especially when they added in the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles were cool.
Yeah.
I never got into it that much for Injustice. Like, I played it real quick, and I was like, I'm done with fighting games for a while, because once you beat it once, unless you really want to go and try to beat it under each player,
Yeah.
it kind of gets boring really quick.
Same thing with Mortal Kombat. You can only
Yeah.
really do the tower so many times before you're like, okay, I'm bored.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, Mortal Kombat is like one of those games where it's like it's a classic because it's been around for so long.
Yeah.
Right.
And the reason why we have the rating board is because of Mortal Kombat.
Right.
Well, yeah.
Damn sensitive people. Anyway, go ahead. I don't want my kids seeing people's arms ripped off.
Then they made Babalities. It's like, wait, what?
Big
Oh, the babalities, yeah. Or the animalities.
Or
Friendality.
friendships, or the, what is it, mercy, where
Right.
you just mercy somebody out and then they get like 15% health and then beat the shit out of them continuously. All right, Dante, go ahead with your number 8.
Number 8. All right. My number 8 is a game that's been re-released a lot.
Skyrim.
Dragon's Dogma.
Oh,
I love that game so much.
I tried playing it.
Mhm.
I couldn't get through it. I'm sorry.
It's just something about it that's just so exciting, especially if you play as a sorcerer and you get those high level spells. Just tossing a high Jysel into a Cyclops, seeing like 6 ice needles, the giant ice pillars, just skewer the Cyclops, and all his health just drops from like 3 bars to 0. It's just something
You,
so satisfying about that.
you know what it is? I think I did try to get it on PlayStation 4,
Mm-hmm.
and when I got it, I started it, and then it crashed.
Mm-hmm.
Started it up again,
Mm-hmm.
and it crashed.
Mm-hmm.
Started it up again, and then it crashed, and I'm like, no, I'm done. No, I'm done.
You just had bad luck.
But very bad luck.
It was. You can get it on Switch now too.
Yeah, I do know that.
It's like,
Oh,
just
that's really funny. Breaking news. Speaking of fighting games, for the last one. So have you guys played Jump Force at all?
Yeah.
I've looked at it, haven't played it though.
So Jump Force added Hiei, was the last DLC character.
Right.
Nice.
Hiei was the last DLC character, but coming soon, the long-awaited Giorno Giovanna from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 5 is coming soon to Jump Force.
Oh my god.
God. I hope everybody just beats him up.
We have it on Switch, and we got the Ultimate Edition because it was on sale for like $20.
Uh-huh.
And they haven't added Hiei yet to it, but it's been released on PlayStation. And I know that once, because they already have, who was it? Yusuke, and then they have Toguro,
Mm-hmm.
the younger Toguro, the
Young
one with
Toguro?
the
Not
yeah,
old Toguro?
yeah, not older. No, the one with the muscles is younger Toguro, right?
Oh yeah, I'm thinking of
Yeah.
when he was the flashback when
Oh,
Toguro.
yeah, it was
Yeah,
young.
younger Toguro. Not yeah, I get what you're saying. I
Yeah,
keep forgetting they're brothers. They are
yeah,
brothers.
yeah.
I
The
keep forgetting.
young Toguro, and then now it's Hiei, and a lot of people are really wanting Kurama.
Yeah,
Kurama was like one of the best characters in all of Yu Yu Hakusho.
yeah.
Next to
He
Hiei.
has his other form, and that other form is just ridiculous.
Yeah, and the Rose Whip. The Rose Whip was cool.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry. You were going on with
Yes.
yeah, Dragon's Dogma.
It's just that with the sorcerer and all those big spells, I mean, don't you want to feel like just you want to go outside the city and then just because you want to do it, summon 18 meteors on these unsuspecting lizard people that are just sunbathing. And then just go about your day with explosions happening behind you. And then you change your class and you have your magic arrows and you go into like this dark area and you just do ricochet bolt and you see lightning arrows bounce enemies off into the air. It's just stuff like that you can experiment with, and it's just hilarious. Plus, when they added Bitter Black Isle, they added a difficulty to it where if you're not careful, you will get one shot. I'm looking at you, Eliminator. I hate that thing so much. It was like a mob where if you get downed and your pawns don't come and help you, it will just take the hammer to your head and one shot you. Ugh.
That's a big oof.
But yeah,
All right. Matt, go ahead with your number 9.
My number 9 is going to be the Mario series.
Oh, okay, yeah.
All of them.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I have to. Come on, from the very beginning. I'm still confused how in the world a plumber has anything to do with this, but yeah. But come on,
I also do like
there's some
how
plumber that
I do
some
like
plumber
how
from New York.
I do like how his whole name is Mario.
Yeah, like some plumber from New York goes into the sewer and then ends up running around trying to chase after a giant turtle. And that just goes into this like giant old myth of don't flush a baby alligator down the toilet. Like, why are we going and flushing a gator down a toilet in New York City? But then you're like, oh, well, this is how Bowser was created. And it's like, wait, what? And apparently everything you flushed down in New York City went and became in the Magic Kingdom. I'm like, wait, what? Mushroom Kingdom, sorry. I'm like, oh, that's random. I'm like, okay, I think this guy is inhaling too many toxic fumes while doing his plumbing job.
Or, doing mushrooms.
That too.
yeah.
Level up.
Yeah. 1 up, yeah.
Look at me, I got large.
All right.
But overall, in terms of a series, it's been around for years, and it doesn't look like it's going to go anywhere. You know?
They had just opened up the Super Mario Land in Tokyo Universal or Universal Japan. It looks amazing. Definitely want to go. Universal Hollywood is currently working on their land, and then 2025 Universal Orlando is going to be opening up their version of Super Mario Land, and it's actually going to be bigger than the other two because it's adding in another section, and that's with Donkey Kong.
Ooh.
Yeah, so 2025, yeah, definitely going to be making the trip down to Universal.
Yeah.
All right. For my number 9 is the Dead Space series.
Okay.
Dead Space. Oh my god, I remember reading about it in Game Informer. Sci-fi, horror, very much body horror.
Yeah.
It reminded me a lot of the movie Event Horizon, which I was not allowed to watch, but I ended up watching. A lot of jump scares. It was really good. Great game, great series. I think the protagonist, as an engineer, he's not a soldier, he's an engineer. So he has to come up with these solutions, whether it's solving a puzzle or using a plasma cutter as a weapon. And then beating the crap out of all the necromorphs. And
that basic scene crossed my heart. Hope to die.
yeah. And then what was it? The start of Dead Space 2 when you were strapped into the straitjacket.
Oh yeah.
And you had to basically run for your life.
You see just someone just become a necromorph right
in front of you.
Just...
And I'm hoping that the studio or the people who made that continue to have great success with their upcoming game, Callisto Protocol.
Yeah.
Which the trailer looks nuts.
It does.
Definitely gonna have to take a look at that when it comes out. But yeah, I'm always a big sucker for the horror genre because one, I can't stand horror all that much, but it's always fun to watch me play it because in my YouTube or in my personal YouTube channel, one of my first videos is Alien Isolation, and I think they were talking about bringing that to a PlayStation 5 because it's just more uh, graphically suited for it. But when they said if you have a headset on and you talk, the alien can hear you. So it's an unrailed AI who is free roaming. It can go into the vents and it can stalk you and kill you. And you have no weapons. It's an indestructible AI, but you do end up getting a flamethrower to make it go away. But it's nuts. So really looking forward to like I said, Callisto Protocol. Hope it's as good as that. And of course, as good as Dead Space, because Dead Space, all three of them was fantastic. All right, Dante, go ahead with your number 9.
My number 9 is Chrono Cross.
Oh, like Sean said.
Yeah. When I got my PS2, I finally went backwards and started playing PS1 games. And that was one of the first games I played before I figured out I still needed a memory card. And I was like, wow, this game is amazing. This is so good. How do I save? Please insert memory card. Oh!
Is that when you had to leave your PlayStation on?
I couldn't because it was in an area where it got too hot, so I just stopped. So I had to find a memory card and buy one, and then finally I actually progressed through the game. Luckily, I could get to the first part in under 10 minutes.
My friend Alex used to have to do that because he was playing Kingdom Hearts 2 and he didn't have enough space in his memory card, so he had to leave it on.
That was like always the hardest things to do is decide what game to get rid of. Like, I'm out of space.
I'm out of space. I don't know what to do.
I just didn't play the game. Like, I'm out of space. I won't play it till I get it.
I had 4 memory cards for my GameCube.
I think I had up to 5 memory cards on PS2 at the end of its life cycle, and I was still scrimping. But yeah, Chrono Cross, amazing story, awesome characters. I love Draggy. Draggy's the cutest thing in the world. Fight me on it. I will always have Draggy on my team, and his storyline always chokes me up. And I always try to do everything before I finish the game. I always get the secret ending. Yeah, Chrono Cross.
All right,
Nice.
Matt, it's your final top 10.
All right. Here is a true old school throwback. Right. No cards, no boards, nothing needed other than some friends. Truth or dare.
Oh God.
Honestly, never played it.
What?
I honestly never played it.
Oh.
It is one of those games that, depending on who you're with, it could be as ridiculously funny or as horribly creepy as ever. From like having to put snow down your pants to, oh my God, one of your friends is picking on you because they know who your crush is and making you have to go and kiss them. That simple. Tell a deep dark secret. Those kind of things. Like, so it really makes you think on what you have to pick. Me and my friends, we used to love playing this whenever we hung out. It's a good throwback. It reminds me of like the good old days back in like middle school, high school, and stuff like that. Even in college. You know, me and my friends, we would sit around and we'd play this game. You know, and there's tons of different versions of it. So it's really cool. You know, it's one of those games that's been around and it's still getting played. And it's pretty much a game from people of all ages play.
Yeah. All right. my number 10, it's an old game, not an old game, not like NES, but older game as an Xbox. Uh, not Xbox 360. It was original Xbox, and that's Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic. One of the best RPGs in the entire genre, to be honest. And both games actually were really good. Second one was not as good, but the first one was really good. I also learned that Jennifer Hale, the same woman who voiced Femshep, also voiced Bastila Shaw from Knights of the Old Republic 1.
Oh.
And there is a way. So, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. If you haven't played it, which I don't know why you haven't, it's almost 20 years. There's a way for you to convince Bastila to confess her love to you at the end of the game, but it pretty much solidifies you as being either a neutral, depending on your alignment, a gray Jedi, or putting you into the dark side, because it is a lot of dark side points. Thankfully, I did all the good things, so I was always a light side, because in those types of games with a morality system, I can't be a dick. Something in me is just like, oh, I could be a dick, but that's going to cause a lot of problems with the guy or this person. So, like, in Mass Effect, I have never done a renegade. I have never done a true neutral. I have always done a paragon. In
Really?
in Fallout, I have only done good things with positive karma. With Knights of the Old Republic, I have always only done light side, and it's
Not
because.
even-
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Not even Elder Scrolls?
Elder Scrolls doesn't really have a morality system, so I mean they can approve of your choices, but if we're talking about Skyrim, either side's story is all bullshit.
Yeah.
So I mean, it doesn't matter. But with games like Mass Effect, Fallout, Knights of the Old Republic, Alpha Protocol, even they all have a karma system or a morality system, and I cannot be a dick. It's in my nature to not be a dick. And with that being said, I chose to spare Bastila at the cost of my own morality. Because but thankfully I had enough light side points where I was still in the light.
Yeah, I would love to see you play a Shin Megami Tensei game. So that's heavy morality in that game. And I just want to see you when you get that ending, when you're being the nice guy.
Does something always bad happen to the nice guy?
In that game, choosing a side is always a bad ending.
So
Like, I can't say much. For those kind of games, I always end up having to play two different characters. One where I'm gonna either be like completely nice, and another where it's like, oh, everything goes.
also
It's like, oh, have fun.
Also with Knights of the Old Republic, they actually said that they will be making a third one. So they have said that at some point they will be making a third one. I think they're already in early development of it. So either I think they're also going to be doing a remake, because it has been almost 20 years since Knights of the Old Republic came out. And it is a great game. It is a very classic game. And it's even today, its effects are being felt genre-wide, because Darth Revan, who is the main character, is being teased and has been confirmed to be part of the current Star Wars universe. and there is one actor who has been that fans want to have him play as Darth Revan, and that is my personal favorite actor, and that's Keanu Reeves. So they want Keanu Reeves to play as the Jedi Master who went Sith and then went back to the light. Oh, and he was also the first. He was also the first Jedi to have a purple lightsaber. Sorry, Samuel L. Jackson. So that's my number 10. Go ahead with your number 10.
Mine. Yes. My number 10 is another PS1 game that I played, and I would love if they did a remake of this. Legend of Dragoon.
Didn't they say they were going to do, but then they canceled it?
They're probably dead because I never heard anything.
They've
But-
said that so many times.
Yeah, Legend of Dragoon is it. It's I feel like it got looked over a lot of times. I think it came out around the same time as another big name title, and it just kind of fell under the radar. It's such a good story to it. It's pretty long too. I think. Well, how many discs was it? I think it was like 3 discs for the PS1. So a 3-disc game, and there were so many side quests to it. It had he had like main character deaths, which I guess were pretty big around that time because of Final Fantasy VII. Spoiler alert: Eric dies.
So I'm looking at it now.
Okay.
Legend of Dragoon came out in in America June 13th, 2000. Its development began in 1996. It took 3 years with a production team of over 100 and cost $16 million. The Legend of Dragoon received mixed reviews, with critics comparing it unfavorably to the Final Fantasy series. But it sold over 1 million copies, and with most of those sales coming from North America. Yeah, it was a 3-disc game.
Yeah. It was. I played that after I played Final Fantasy X, and I still loved it so much that I played it like 7 times. It is just something about the combat was like it had a unique combat system where you do a combo and you have to press the X button at the right time to continue the combo to increase the damage you do. And then it had the whole Dragoon transformation where you can either choose to do an automatic combo or you could use your Dragoon magic to do a buttload of damage at the cost of precious MP, which is so hard to heal and restore in the beginning of the game. And leveling your Dragoon spirit took a lot of grinding, but it was so worth it. And actually, some of the Dragoon spirits were actually missable in that game if you weren't careful enough.
Actually, I'm also reading an article right now. It says that there has been rumors in 2019 for a Legend of Dragoon remake, because it has been 20 years for its release. And they say that now with the PS5, the time is right for a Legend of Dragoon remake because of the additional graphic support.
Yeah.
But they haven't confirmed anything yet.
Yeah, I would love if they did a remake of it. I would love that so much, and I would play it 7 times again, just to make sure that Kongol gets his Earth Dragoon Spirit at just the right time, that I don't have to grind an extra 2 hours to level it up before the final boss.
Did you guys? So that is it for our number 10 or top 10. Does anybody have any other things they want to talk about?
Like, I know there's a couple of honorable mentions. Like, you have a ton of different games out there. Like, if you want to talk about a game that definitely looked outside of the box, you could look at a game like Monster Ranchers back for the PlayStation, stuff like that, where it actually had you pause your game, open the system, take out the game, put another CD in or movie,
To
close the
unlock a
system
creature, right?
to unlock a creature.
Yeah,
Right. And depending on what you put in, depended on what creature came out of these like magical thing,
yeah.
like stones.
I remember the cartoon
And
series
there was a cartoon series from it, which was like, okay, cool.
and
And I would
motion.
love to see them with a new version of it come up,
Mhm.
which would be awesome.
Yeah,
But I would love to see like how they would do it today with like all the tech now. Like, hey, if you guys are doing this, or hey,
yeah.
you have
It was
these
probably
saved
across
files, you can
location.
input these features. Yeah,
Yeah, location, AR codes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, for my honorable mention, I would uh, probably put it with Super Smash Brothers.
Mhm.
This is a classic. I mean, who doesn't like Super Smash Brothers? Even
Yeah.
with the newer Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, they're still adding characters. Um, Sephiroth was kind of like one of the newer ones, and now they're adding in ones for what is it, Xenoblade
Xenoblade
or yeah,
Chronicles too. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, and Walmart Canada got in trouble. I don't know if you guys saw that. Did you guys see that?
No.
Uh,
So last week was Halo's 20th anniversary,
Okay.
and uh, I think it was Microsoft or maybe it was the
I
Halo
think I
official
remember that.
Twitter page.
I think I might have seen it. Yeah.
Um, so they said another year around the sun. Happy birthday, John, and all, or happy birthday 117. And Walmart Canada. This is the funniest part. Walmart Canada says, "Hey, happy birthday to John. We have something for him. We just need an address, and it's the envelope to Super Smash Brothers." So Master Chief has been like one of the long-awaited. Like they think that
Yeah.
he's going to be in it, but that's not confirmed or
Uh.
denied.
Uh.
So they're going to have
And
to,
right now.
yeah. Another thing is, do you guys remember the Oddworld series?
Oh God, those were like phenomenal.
They're still making them.
I
Yeah, they're
know.
making a new one. I
Yeah,
never
there's
played.
another one. Yeah, coming
Like
out.
it's like Crash Bandicoot. They just
I,
came those back out.
I
Yeah.
remember. I remember one of them. I think it was for the Xbox, where you had to
What,
collect
Crash
soda
Bandicoot?
can. No, no, no. Oddworld,
Oh yeah.
where you had to collect soda cans, and it was like a leveling system, kind of like Super Mario Brothers or Crash Bandicoot. But it was funny, and then Stranger's Wrath came out, and everybody liked that one.
Hmm.
Yeah. Crash Bandicoot was a blast. You know,
It's
they had a
free. It's
ton of
free right
those.
now with the PlayStation Plus collection.
Yeah. And then you have what? Half-Life was a good toss back.
God, they're remaking the first one. It's called
Alan
Quarter
something.
Life?
I forgot what its name. I forgot. Black Mesa. It's Black Mesa.
Oh, okay.
It's because that's. Have you played Half Life One?
Yeah, back
Yeah.
when it first came out.
So Gordon Freeman, the person who you play as, worked in a black site called Black Mesa, and it was meant to find different dimensions and universes and all that. And when they found it, a whole bunch of stuff came through, and they didn't want it. And then Half-Life 2 came out and basically was like, okay, well, we're friends with some of the aliens, but not all of them.
Okay.
Make Half-Life 3, goddammit.
I knew that was coming.
It's been so long.
That's everyone's instant response.
You know what it is? You know,
So many people like Half-Life 2.
you know,
And that's what killed
but you know what it is Valve can't count to 3 because they made Left 4 Dead 1 and then Left 4 Dead 2 and then they stopped that and then they're releasing Back 4 Blood, which is the same development team.
They're
But
alerted to the number 3.
in their defense, in Left 4 Dead 1, as soon as they did the mods, they got a massive lawsuit because somebody made a mod for Scooby-Doo.
Oh yeah, but I mean that's not on the development team.
No, but they still got in trouble for it.
It shouldn't matter because the only reason why I say this is because yeah, I understand the whole mod thing, but that's on the mods. That's not on Valve or the developers because that they chose to open up the mods to free reign. So with that being said, they made Half-Life, Half-Life 2, Left 4 Dead, Left 4 Dead 2, Portal 2, Team Fortress, and then Team Fortress 2. Where are all the other threes? I mean, when you have Half-Life 1, and then Half-Life just came out with a VR game last year named Half-Life Alyx. And yeah, it was actually pretty good from what I saw. It was actually pretty good. But still, where's Half-Life 3? We've been waiting 10 years for Half-Life 3. And then they released Half-Life 2 Episode 1 and then Half-Life 2 Episode 2. Where is 3? You okay? You almost fell out of your seat there.
No, Nibbler decided to be a jackass towards our cat.
Oh.
Oh gosh. Well,
She's over there.
one of the things I want to see come back.
You don't like this, do you? How do you
And-
like something like that?
I guess as a franchise in a whole, Zoids.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of things about that, Zoids.
Zoids was so much fun. And I played, they had one game out, an actual RPG for Zoids on Game Boy Advance, Zoids Legacy, and I played the crap out that game so much. It merged all the worlds of Zoids into like one game. You play as this unique character, and it's like the whole thing's like it's a dimensional crisis, but you get to play and you all the Zoids from all the timelines and series in that one game, and it was a turn-based RPG, and you have a six-man squad, and you have your own organoid, and I'm like, oh my god, I want another Zoids game. I want Zoids to come back in a big way.
Yeah, I'll agree there.
I want God, there's a couple games that I want either remade or them to make another one. One of them is I'd like to see another Roller Coaster Tycoon, to be honest with you. I love Roller Coaster Tycoon. It's so fun.
I've never played one of those. I saw someone play it, and I'm just like, what are you doing? I'm making a roller coaster.
I used to play 5 hours of Roller Coaster Tycoon a night back when I was a kid.
Mm.
And it was so much fun. My mom would show me how to do it, and I want them to go ahead and make another one because it was a lot of fun.
The main part I loved with that was like figuring out like you would learn stuff, but without even expecting that you're
Yeah.
learning stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
you would
oh,
learn about economics.
It would yell at you, and then on top of it, it was like, oh, this would kill the rider, like the people riding. And you're like, wait, what? It's like, yeah, they just hit 6G. Oh, okay. Back it up a little.
Another thing I want to see come back or remade is another Banjo-Kazooie, like the other Banjo, like 1 and 2, not Nuts and Bolts.
Right.
I'd like to see that come back. That was a fun game. I don't care how old you are. That was a really good game. That and Conquer, the Conquer's Bad Fur Day. That was a fun
Uh,
game.
Yeah.
Would
It's a very
love-
adult game back in the day.
I would love if they bring the Jack and Daxter franchise back.
I think they said they were, but at some point they were.
It got kind of lost in the shuffle, especially when Ratchet and Clank came back in a big way. And
Yeah.
I would love to see Jack and Daxter, as well as Sly Cooper too.
Yeah,
It's-
Sly Cooper was fun.
Those two. What other one was it?
Rayman
It's like
needs to come back.
Yeah. I recently been playing Digimon Cyber Sleuth.
They are making another Digimon game.
What style of Digimon? Because I played that Digimon World New Order and I hated every single.
Hold on, I'm looking at it right now.
I was like, okay, I got my 2 Digimon.
Uh,
They died. Wait, what? Your Digimon only lasts for an hour. How am I supposed to progress with the story if my Digimon don't live past an hour?
I'd like to see another Pokemon Stadium, to be honest with you. So it looks like the newest Digimon is called Digimon Survive.
Oh yeah, right, that one.
And it looks like it has Agumon?
It's
think-
it's half in the style of Telltale games, and then
Mhm.
it's half in the style of strategy like Fire Emblem.
Okay, so something really funny. I have never seen Digimon. I've only seen like maybe 1 or 2 episodes, but that's it. Don't know any of the Digimon's names. But he's like a yellow or
Yeah.
orange dinosaur.
Agumon, yellow dinosaur.
Okay, yeah, that one.
It's okay because there's like over 1,000 of them.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I think this is where we're gonna call it because we're already at 2 hours and 45 minutes.
40? Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really good discussion. Video games is our bread and butter.
Yeah.
Especially
games in general.
yeah. But anyway, everybody. So this is gonna call it for us here at Dragon's Breath Forge. Again, if you're watching, make sure you follow us. My tag is Coach Caboose TV, Coach_Caboose TV. You can follow me. I usually do playthroughs on Total War Warhammer 2. That's coming out hopefully on Thursday. With part 3, finally eliminating the Skaven threat. If you haven't seen, finally beat all the greenskins. Finally.
Took you long enough.
Finally. There's still one more up to the north. Up to the north, he hasn't declared war on me because he hasn't found me yet. And if he does, he'll have nothing but sweat and blood. But eliminating the Skaven threat is our next target. You can follow Otherpath on here as well. Friday is the D&D night.
Right. We're gonna have a TED Talk this week.
I'm
Good thing.
probably not going to be joining the D&D, at least for right now, because personal reasons with work and all that. But I'll join eventually. And you can also follow Duroc50, who probably does more streaming than either of us combined.
I mean, not recently, but I do stream sometimes. I still need to finish Persona 5 Strikers, but I will be streaming Monster Hunter Rise when it comes out, so look forward to that.
Yeah, I'll definitely be watching that. And when Diablo comes out, we'll do a
Definitely stream that.
Yeah.
Matt, you should get it on PlayStation so we all can play.
Oh, that's together.
Which the new the
Yeah,
new
Diablo 2.
Diablo 2.
Get it on
Diablo 2
PlayStation.
I'm getting on the PC
Why?
because
Diablo-
it's nostalgia.
Yeah, but you can do it on PlayStation too. Just switch it over to
Yeah.
Yeah, but I have it on place. I don't have a PlayStation 5.
It
No,
doesn't
you
matter.
can
It's
on 4.
PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll have to look at it. I'll have to look at it.
If we have a PlayStation 5, we can still play with you.
Okay, we'll have to look.
Yeah.
But even
Yeah.
with that one, don't forget in the about section or next to my comments, I have our link for our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like and follow us or subscribe on there. Leave comments on whatever you think we should talk about next. We might have to figure out our next plan of action in terms of next Monday. We might have to come up with an idea on what we'll be going over.
Yeah, we can decide. We can talk about it later on in the week.
Oh yeah. Don't forget, there's also a link for our Facebook page. Leave comments on what you might like to hear us talk about. Follow us. I know it's kind of empty in there right now. We will hopefully start putting more stuff into that page.
Yeah.
So please keep an eye out for any of that stuff. I know I have 9 followers. If you guys don't mind joining us in there, like and follow, subscribe, whatever you guys can do. It helps us keep growing as a community. Share us with your friends. It does help us out.
Yeah, and just as a reminder, if you have any questions or you while we're not talking about D&D or anything, just send us a DM, and we can
Yeah.
definitely help out. I have received probably since we started about 3 emails asking about questions about D&D, which more than happy to help out. And I'm
Yeah.
actually I actually have another group that I'm playing with D&D, and I'm finally doing Princes of the Apocalypse. So
Nice.
definitely looking forward to doing that. But everybody, we hope you have a great night. And if you're watching this in the morning, have a good day. Good day,
Yeah.
good evening, good night. And
Keep adventuring.
yeah. And oh, Matt, by the way, we should try to plan on doing some, at least hopefully sometime this week, or maybe we could do it on Friday or whenever, where you can do a cooking video.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to look at it.
But anyway, we hope you have a great night and stay safe.
All right. Later.
All right. I'll see y'all later.